So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes?
Yep.
Gloves?
Yep.
Rip protectors?
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next, well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
We're at a commercial break.
Well, welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park. We are live for round number 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. And let's take a quick recap of what we saw earlier today in the morning, where a couple of drivers had off-track excursions. That's the 202, losing a tire on the main straightaway after qualifying. A couple of nitty and gritty wrecks further back as well, and some great racing all around. there you have it, where a lot of drivers were able to set in really good lap times and really compete for race wins and do a whole lot of different. There you see Danny O'Gara had a little bit of a bobble, but still was able to take the win in that 206 Sportsman class there, and that bull has provided really good racing all weekend long, or all day long, I should say. And there you saw that was Reagan and another driver there who got a little bit of contact, and then you see her bumper just completely falling off and flying to the wayside there for her. She's going to get set to go green as well here shortly. And then your 206 medium class that absolutely delivered, where a lot of drivers showed their pace, showed their class, and they showed us what we're expecting to see here shortly from our 206 lights, and a lot of different racing action with the likes of Elijah Fox and more that get set to go green here shortly. There you have the last little bits of replays where a little too late on the brakes, put him on the wayside, a little bit of a mistake, but still able to get it done, put himself in second, and was still able to get the win here in this one. So still a lot more action to go for these 206 seniors, and you see everybody there on the fence line just super excited, and as well as our race winner there, who have all been super excited to be out here from all levels and all classes. And then you saw our masters, a little bit of contact in between them, and that kind of gave the way and the win to Mr. Geist there, where he was able to take the win after some contact further back in between a couple of drivers. And then what ended our AM sessions a little bit early, a tire flying off, a kart rear-ending our barriers, and then our barriers growing some legs and walking onto that steep banking and putting themselves right in the middle of the racetrack there. So that put an early end to our day, to our morning sessions where the red flag came out, and then that was it. And I believe it was Jackson Deal who was able to get that win in the morning. So it's been an action-packed day of racing so far, but we look forward to keep it green all day long. And a lot of wins here picking up here at Whiteland Raceway Park. For those of you guys just joining us, my name is Caleb Vieska, and this weekend alongside me here in the booth is Alexander Searle as well. So the two of us will bring you all the action live here from Whiteland Raceway Park. There you have your weather graph. We're up another 3 degrees here in Whiteland, Indiana, 53 degrees here at the moment. Still clear skies, not much rain or clouds or overcast expected, but the winds have been the story here in this one. So that's definitely just the only, I guess, the only thing that we've been looking out for out here. So a lot of good racing action so far. For those of you guys just joining us here on the mainstream, and for the first time, I guess I should say all weekend long, remember to follow Whiteland Raceway Park across all social medias. Become a member of the Whiteland Raceway Discord server as well. So Whiteland Raceway Park there on Facebook, Race WRP on Instagram, where myself and Alexander Searle have already followed and liked and shared as well. And then in the Discord group as well, where we'll be giving away a free hat to our 430th member, we said, and then we think it was actually Alex, the 430th member, so we're going to have to come up with something else here at some point. But we are wanting to reach 450 on that Discord server, so if we do that, we'll come up with an incentive. I'll shave my head or have Alex do it. I don't know. We'll come up with something, right, Alex?
You can shave your head. You said it. That's all you.
All right.
I was on the giveaway a hat train for if I was 430 and somebody else was 430, then we'll move it to 450. Can you check what it's at right now? I don't know how to see how many numbers they're at right now, but it's got to be more than 430.
No, it's definitely at 430. What I'm gonna end up doing here is I'm gonna not become a member anymore, and then become a member again, and I'm gonna tell Xander, be like, yo, like, I need a hat, dude. Yeah, I'll get with the Pride guys, be like, hey, like, I need you guys to find me a hat because I'm the 430th member for the Whiteland Raceway Park Discord server. But no, in all seriousness, it's been a great day. We'll definitely find an incentive for you guys around the paddock. Make sure to become part of that Discord server. And you get, starting grids, all that fun stuff, results, penalties, whatever you may need there. And then a wonderful help desk where, you can talk to your fellow, racers, talk to your fellow track assistants, the one and only Joe Janowski in that chat as well, answering any questions that you guys may have if you're either at home or here at the racetrack. Hope you guys are having a good time here. Everybody seems to be pretty bundled up here on what's been a rather chilly day here in Whiteland, Indiana. But we get set already to go green for our first couple of heat races with our Supermasters, the first class that is going to take to the racetrack here shortly. So let's run you down your starting grid here in 206 Supermasters, and I'm going to open up this trusty Discord server and find myself on the starting grid. So on the front row, it's going to be Jason Ewers in the 19, starting alongside Travis Wilbur, Tom Stevens, and Michael McLaughlin starting on that second row. Richard Lowe and Gary Lynn starting on row 3. On row 4, it's going to be Rick Hudson and Scott Galladay. On row 5, it's Mike Beaucurt and Richard LeMasters. On row 6, Gary Burton and Kent Beware. On row 7, Patrick Hale and Joseph Stevens, all getting set to go green for our first heat race of the afternoon groups. Your 206 Supermasters get set, and into the tram lines we go for the first time this weekend for some of these drivers, and the second time for others, as the green flag is out, and we are officially racing here in 206 Supermasters, and already off to a great start for your pole sitter there of Jason Ewers, who had a really good start, got the jump, started that race off perfectly, and already off with a couple of kart lengths in between himself and the second place driver.
Yeah, dream start there for Jason Ewers. Travis Wilbur is going to slot in line in second place, and then further down the order, that is going to beat Tom Stevens there in the third position as it stands. William McLaughlin in fourth place. Not much of a jumbled order from what we saw in the qualifying session here, but as they round the final corner, let's give you a better idea of how they stand. Let's give you your rundown here across the start-finish line. Jason Ewers, Travis Wilbur there in third. Yep, Tom Stevens in third, William McLaughlin in fourth, Richard Lowe in fifth, then Scott Galladay rounds out your top six right now. A top two-car breakaway out front here in your Supermasters heat race. First heat of the afternoon slates, 4 minutes plus 2 laps. The overall heat races are 5 minutes plus 2 laps, but this one already has 4 minutes left. You can look at the lead that the top two have. Ewers and Wilbur pulling away by a gap of, it says 2 seconds, but that was when they crossed the stripe last time by. It looks like more of 4 seconds plus here. So Jason Ewers in a round final corner here to cross the line, extend his advantage over Travis Wilbur there by 4/10. And let's see the gap from second to third. It was 2 seconds last time by. It's 6 seconds this time around. The battle for third is heating up though between McLaughlin, Galladay, Lynn, Lowe, Hudson, Burton, and Stevens, who lost 6 positions that lap alone. So it's getting messy back there for the battle for third. The battle for first is pretty much over as it stands for the moment. 3 minutes and some change left to go. But if you shift our focus to the battle further back, that battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth is starting to heat up here, Caleb.
Yeah, so that battle for third, like you said, already starting to heat up. Just trying to find a better starting spot when it gets down to the main event. So that's McLaughlin, Galladay, and Lynn all involved in that battle for P3 here at the moment. There you guys have it on your screen now. Lowe able to work his way up to P5. Lynn falls back to that 6th spot. So this driver's continuing to cycle through. And there's the 45 of, that's Bulware, who's working his way around the last couple of corners. But it's still Jason Ewers with a good gap so far, and already sitting in those purple lap times here as we're 3 minutes in, so 43.701 last time by on a second lap for Jason Ewers. So let's see what it looks like this time when he crosses the stripe for Wilbur as well. Just trying to close down that gap to your leader here. Just hasn't been close enough to attempt the move or to get it done. 7/10 separates the two of them. And then a couple of seconds back to McLaughlin, Galladay, and Lowe that we're all still fighting, but pretty much tamed out here at the moment, as there's a little bit of a gap to McLaughlin back to the rest of the drivers here. So Ewers and Wilbur, so your closest two drivers here on the racetrack. That's the 19 and the number 6 of your two front runners there. That's the number 4. That's Galladay and McLaughlin, who are currently they're battling it out for that P3 spot. So they continue to fight, and the leaders just pull away here little by little as they get they work their way down the main straightaway now. And an even better lap last time by for Jason Ewers, a 42.853. So continuing to improve his lap times and opening up his gap even more to the driver in P2 of Wilbur. So good so far for Jason Ewers, who looks set to qualify on the pole position when it gets to main event racing. And these two drivers of McLaughlin and Galladay still fighting it out here for that 3rd spot, last of the podium places, and they continue to fight. It looks like Galladay just got a little bit out of shape there on the exit of that corner and lost a little bit of time. So into the bowl they go. It's Galladay still who is chasing McLaughlin here in this one, Alex.
Yeah, Galladay chasing McLaughlin there. 2 laps ago, McLaughlin had a 1-second lead over Galladay. Made a mistake in turn number 3, and that brought Galladay back into the mix of things. And that's the battle that we're seeing on our screen right now. There's McLaughlin. There's Galladay on that red and white machine, number 4 go-kart. 20 seconds plus 2 laps to go. So they will at least have 3 laps to go here when they cross the line. 2 laps to go next time around for these drivers. But for Jason Ewers, 42.853 is his personal best. Last time around, 43.649, but still a 10th quicker than what Travis Wilbur was able to do last time around. The clock has struck 0, so that means they're going to get the 2 to go sticks in the air for your leader, Jason Ewers. Last time around, a 44.4, so lap times really started to tumble in the latter stage of this race. So for Wilbur, 1.3 seconds back, 2 sticks in the air. There it is for McLaughlin and Galladay. McLaughlin a personal best of 44.380. So too does Galladay, but McLaughlin doing enough to pull away from Galladay as it stands. A lap and a half to go for your race leader, Jason Ewers, who's trying to hold off a hard-charging Travis Wilbur. That was the first lap all race long that Wilbur was quicker than Ewers, so maybe, just maybe, miracles could happen here for Wilbur. A second he needs to find in this last lap, but it's possible. He was 4/10 faster last time around. This time around, Jason Ewers a 43 flat, Wilbur a 44.6, so he lost 1.6 seconds there. Must have been a bit of a mistake there for Travis Wilbur, but for Jason Ewers here, he has about a half a lap to go before he can cross the stripe and claim a heat race victory. For McLaughlin as well, a full lap to go, but he's starting to pull away from Galladay.
Yeah, so all these drivers starting to pull away here little by little from each other. So getting pretty tame now, as they did get the white flag last time by. And it looks set to be Jason Ewers, who's 11 seconds up the road from this battle here on your screen of McLaughlin and Scott Galladay. And there are the rest of your drivers continuing to cycle through. But your leader, Jason Ewers, gets the checker flag and wins heat race number 1, and is going to qualify it on the pole position when we get set for main event racing. It's Wilbur 2nd, McLaughlin 3rd, Galladay 4th, Richard Lowe rounding up your top 5 here in 206 Super Masters.
Yeah, what a performance there for Jason Ewers. A dominant performance there, but it's only the heat race. He will have to repeat that in the 9-minute plus 2-lap finals. That'll be happening later this afternoon. Take a look at that Indy Karting Challenge flag. It is flapping in the air pretty good there, so the wind, 12 to 15 mile an hour wind gusts, are still out and about here at Whiteland Raceway Park. The temperatures have picked up slightly from this morning. When we got here at the racetrack, it was 44 degrees. Now it's 53 degrees, so a little bit warmer here in Indiana. A beautiful day, no clouds in the sky, but doesn't get much better than what it has been for Jason Ewers so far. A perfect day as it stands in the books of pole position. Led every lap in that heat race, so he's one session away from a Grand Slam there, the number 19 machine, but Travis Wilbur, the closest one to challenge him later this afternoon. That being said, that was your Super Masters heat race. Later on, this next session, we should be getting set for some Micro Swift heat racing action. Let's get a quick word from our sponsors before we see some of the youngest drivers hit the racetrack.
We're at a commercial break.
As our drivers hit the racetrack. Now we get set to go green here for the Micro Swift class. 4 drivers making up the field as they get set to go green into the tram lines. A little bit off to a quick start. The green flag is out, and we are racing here. The 33 already off to a really good start there for Reagan Hodges there. So she's currently in the lead. Simon Nellick, if I'm not mistaken, currently sits P2 in the 40. Chase Call currently P3. And McNeely currently Shotgun Charlie on the field in that 4th spot. And still trying to push here in this one. And still pushing here. And they're working together here at the moment. At the moment, Reagan Hodges currently at P1, we'll see how it goes here for Reagan. She already took a win, or was going to take a win earlier today, and unfortunately lost it. But let's see what it looks like this time by. Hopefully a little better for her heat race here. This is the second heat race. We had a heat racing action with our Masters, our Super Masters, I should say, and now we're green racing with our Micro Swift class here, so they continue to cycle through. It's still Hodges who leads us away. Let's see what the lap times look like this time by for all these drivers. Hodges currently lapping really well, and a 43.793 for Hodges. So she's currently quickest on the racetrack. Chase Call currently second, and second quickest at that, a 44 flat for Chase Call. Just shy, 2/10 shy of the lap times that Reagan is running here at the moment.
Yeah, Reagan Hodges flying right now, but Chase Call staying within the draft there of Reagan, kind of like what we saw in the 206 class, cadet class earlier this morning. Bit of a mistake there out of that corner for Reagan Hodges. A slower exit there. Look at the gap between the top two. Chase Call went purple, 43.249. 4/10 quicker than your leader last time by. So that mistake there from Hodges gives Chase Call some new life here with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this one. So the 33 machine of Hodges seems to be slowing down there a little bit, just making some mistakes early on in this one there. Maybe the nerves or maybe just overall not getting enough tire temp in those tires. Nonetheless, seems to have got it all sorted and starting to pull away again from Chase Call. So this battle will continue to commence here. 2.5 minutes to go in this one. Further back, Liat Simonellik is in third, and then Patrick McNeely rounds out your field in the micro switch class. But Reagan Hodges doing a great job in this one, a 43.203 resets purple lap. So trades best lap there with Chase Call. Call does a 43.753, so he needs to find a bit more lap time in his go-kart if he wants a chance at this heat race victory. But again, this just sets the order for the final later this afternoon. So no hardware for this one, but you still want to go out there and win this heat race, put yourself in the best spot to contend for a victory in the final. Only 4 karts in this class, but again, it doesn't take many go-karts to put on a good race. So for Chase Call and Reagan Hodges, they will continue to battle out and duke it out to see who could win this one here. A little bit less than 2 minutes to go, about 1.5 minutes to go as it stands, plus 2 minutes. So Chase Call, a second clear is Reagan Hodges now over Chase Call.
Yeah, second clear and doing a good job so far for Reagan Hodges here at the moment, and she continues to set in pretty good lap times. Chase Call currently in that second spot, hasn't been able to really close on the gap, but still trying here at the moment. So let's see what it looks like when they cross the stripe next time by. And I think that gap may even grow here a little bit because Reagan's absolutely flying here in this one. 4 laps into this one, and she does extend that gap 0.3 of a second. So a good lap last time by for Reagan Hodges, and Chase Call just losing touch here a little bit with Reagan. So let's see if he can pull something out of the bag here in the closing stage to this one to try and get right back up to her rear bump.
17 seconds plus 2 laps to go for Reagan Hodges to walk away with a heat race victory here at Michael Swift. It was 1.3 seconds last time around to Chase Call. The gap is growing immensely this time around. She's going to cross the stripe. What's the gap? It looks like about 2 seconds. It's 2.3, so a second faster was Hodges over Call last time by. Goes to show you that she had more left in the tank, just saving it for the end of the race there. And this bodes well for her chances in the final later this afternoon. It's a much longer race, obviously, in the afternoon, a 9-minute plus 2 lap main event, so 4 more minutes of racing than what we're watching right now. So in a class like this, where they're doing lap times in the low 40s, it'll still add about 8 or 9 laps to the overall event. So, white flag in the air for the 33 machine of Reagan Hodges up on the wheel there. Extends her advantage again. 3 seconds now back to Chase Call in second. Liat Simonellik puts a personal best there, 4 seconds back. So Liat doing a good job there to stay within the draft distance of Chase Call if Chase were to make a mistake in this one. But for Liat, I think it's a little bit too little, too late to make anything happen in the heat race. But in all honesty, I think third might be the better place to start the second anyways. But here comes Reagan Hodges around the pole corner, through the hairpin where she lost her side pod in the feature race in 206 Cadet this morning. It stays on for her in this one. Final lap, checker flag in the air. Reagan Hodges wins the heat race ahead of Chase Call. Liat Simonellik in third position there. Patrick McNeely rounds out your field in Micro Swift. What a dominant performance there for Hodges.
Yeah, a great drive for Reagan Hodges, who's able to get the win. Chase Call as well up there in second. So good driving so far, and an absolute clinic for Reagan Hodges so far here in this one. That's 2 heat races down with 4 more to go left in this one. So you're watching Kart Chasers live coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge live from Whiteland Raceway Park. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park here for round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. We just watched our Supermasters and Micro Swift heat races. Still a couple more to go here. Next up is the Mini Swift category with Danny O'Gara putting on a show in that one there, just like he did in the Sportsman class. But for our Mini Swift class, let's run you through how they qualified. It was Titus Roberts who put together an absolute flyer in the Mini Swift qualifying grid there, ahead of Danny O'Gara by 0.4 of a second. Danny O'Gara then put the same exact lap time as Austin Taylor, but did it before him, so that puts him second. Taylor third, Fike Tinger fourth. Brandon McMahon is going to be in that 5th place spot. Then it's Bentley McMahon, in 5th. Dylan Thomas 6th. Then it's Kason Hendrickson 7th. 8th is going to be Lincoln Wiley. Then it's going to be Andrew Avalos in that 9th spot. Asher Ferris rounds out your top 10. A second separates pole from 10th here in Mini Swift, but Titus Roberts is going to lead them to the green when they get out on the track momentarily. All right, go-karts heading out onto the racetrack. It's our Mini Swift drivers, and it's Titus Roberts and Danny O'Gara on the front row. Austin Taylor in 3rd, Will Fike-Tinger in 4th, and then Bentley McCann, Dylan Thomas. That's your 3rd row here. We're in for a treat of a race if that qualifying session is anything to go off of, just like what we saw in 206 Sportsman. But instead of Danny O'Gara walking away with it, it's O'Gara not even on the pole position, because Titus Roberts put down an absolute flyer at the end of qualifying to steal it from O'Gara. So Roberts, O'Gara, your front row here as they get ready and set to take the green. Round of the final corner now. Flagman with the flag in hand. Drivers waiting for the green. They got a green here. Outside looks good for O'Gara. Bumper to bumper contact, but O'Gara's going to hang around the outside. Roberts climbs onto the rear bumper of the MPG driver there. And how about it for Austin Taylor sneaking through? And Titus Roberts from first to fourth in a matter of a couple corners with the contact between himself and O'Gara. O'Gara gets away with one there and lives to fight another day. Not only that, but he's ahead of Titus Roberts. But with that contact, O'Gara down into third position, move Austin Taylor to the point, ahead of, I believe, that is Will Feichtinger now in second place here when they cross the stripe. Yes, Austin Taylor, Feichtinger, O'Gara. It's an MPG 1, 2, 3, an MPG takeover in the mini Swift category. Then it's Titus Roberts in fourth, Dylan Thomas in fifth, where he started. Chaotic opening couple of corners here for the mini Swift drivers. 4 minutes and 2 laps to go in this one. O'Gara looking to make amends for a bad start there, down in third. So too is Titus Roberts, already by himself, and he has Dylan Thomas for company now in fourth.
Yeah, so there you see a couple of drivers not happy. There's a driver in second throwing his hand up in the air. Wasn't too happy with, I guess, a fellow teammate there. So let's see what happens as they pass a go-kart there. It's on the inside of the racetrack, but all these drivers continue to shuffle through. It's Austin Taylor who who is sitting in second. It's Feichtinger currently in the first spot, and Danny O'Gara losing 2 spots. Not losing spots, but just wasn't able to close out that the pole position earlier today. He's currently sitting in third and trying to close down the gaps to the 2 teammates ahead of him.
Yeah, so Feichtinger leads now ahead of Taylor. O'Gara trying to find a way around his teammates with 3 minutes to go in this one. O'Gara right now the quickest is what it seems like, but you have to look down to Dominic Gaddis in 9th to see the driver who went purple last time by. It gives you an idea of how deep this field is and how talented this mini Swift field is. O'Gara side-to-side contact with his teammate there. Hopping in his seat, trying to get every bit of power out of that go-kart. They're side by side through the chicane. Oh man, if you're the MPG guys, if you're Chase Jones or Raceway Durante, you're probably you're clenching a little bit there with your teammates going side by side through the S's. They made it work though. So O'Gara now P2, Taylor down into third and under fire from Titus Roberts. Your leader now is still Will Feichtinger with a bigger lead he's had all race long. O'Gara now in second, and under fire is going to be Dylan Thomas now on Austin Taylor because he got around the likes of Titus Roberts. So Roberts falls back to fifth. Thomas on a charge up into fourth, and now look at O'Gara all over the bumper of his teammate. Feichtinger looks back, defending on his teammate. Surprisingly there, 2 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. You don't want to afford too much contact here because it's only a heat race. This sets you up for the final here. Let's see if we can get a view of the hairpin. Feichtinger still your leader here. They have about 5 laps to go in this one. There's the 57. The 57 see if we get a name to that number there. But nonetheless, we have a driver out in this one early on. So it's Feichtinger leading. Danny O'Gara trying to find a way around his teammate. Minute and 20 left, plus 2 laps down the back straight. O'Gara with a decent run. Not as good of a run as Feichtinger got out of that corner, though. He's going to have to send one to the hairpin if he wants to make a move. Up on the bumper, into the hairpin. Does he make a move? No. Smart driving from these 2 youngsters. They know that 2 is faster than 1. No need to battle it out when it's a teammates 1, 2, and 3 as it stands.
Yeah, currently a teammate 1, 2, and 3 for Danny O'Gara, though. Still going to want to get through at some point to start on that inside row, on that inside tram line later on today for their main event. They go side by side once again to the back straightaway, and they'll go side by side all the way down. And I think O'Gara got a really good run there on the exit and is able to get ahead here and is able to get clear. So Danny O'Gara, your new leader here. Will Feichtinger currently going to slide back to second. Austin Taylor still in that third spot. But for Danny O'Gara, still leads the way side by side. Oh, and a little bit of contact there in between Feichtinger and O'Gara. O'Gara not too happy. Taps the back of his helmet and asks for some help from Austin Taylor. So let's see if they decide to work together and try and catch up to a fellow MPG Kart Republic of Will Feichtinger.
Yeah, surprising there that Feichtinger is fighting this so hard, but for O'Gara, I don't think it was a tap of the helmet. I think that was a hand in the air of frustration you wanted to show it visibly because as a teammate there, you don't expect him to throw it back on you on the inside. But at the end of the day, this is racing. It was a fair move from Fightinger. So O'Gara now, does he return the favor? Not going to happen. Oh, the clock strikes 0, so they're going to see 2 in the air this time by 2 laps to go. And all this fighting is going to bring Dylan Thomas, Titus Roberts, Dominic Gaddis, and others into the mix here. It's a 6-car battle for the lead and the win. Oh, Fightinger going defensive early. Bad exit there. O'Gara around the outside. Can he get it done in turn 4? No, but guess who can? Austin Taylor, 3 wide, makes a stick. I thought for a moment there that Dylan Thomas was going to sneak his way through, but Austin Taylor out of nowhere up to P2. O'Gara around the outside makes it work. Danny O'Gara out of P1. Austin Taylor P2. Fightinger to 3rd. Under fire now from Dylan Thomas. Taylor gets into the side of O'Gara, and now Fightinger is battling with his teammates. The MPG boys aren't working very well together as it stands. Somehow are still 1-2-3 here. White flag in the air for Danny O'Gara. Fightinger back up into P2 here. Turn 3, turn 4. Defensive for O'Gara. Fightinger's going to go to the outside. Look for the crossover move here in turn number 5. Not going to happen. Now the back away. O'Gara with a decent enough lead now where he doesn't have to defend. Through the left-right chicane onto the bowl corner now. Look at the run Fightinger's got. Does he go to the inside? No, because O'Gara's got it covered. Look for the crossover. Not going to happen. Fightinger thought about a move. A bump and run. He bumps and runs his teammate. Fightinger moves with the racetrack. Austin Taylor, a 2-for-1 special. He gets it done. Austin Taylor with the victory. Fightinger to P2. Dylan Thomas 3rd. Dominic Gaddis, Titus Roberts, O'Gara with that bump and run falls down to 6th. Oh man, a bit of friendly fire there between the 2 MPG boys, and Daniel O'Gara very, very frustrated with how he was driven in that one.
Yeah, Danny O'Gara not too happy there in the end. So let's watch. This is the race start here, so we're gonna have a full replay of the race. To go a little bit side by side through there. Fightinger able to get through and contact from the start. There you have him lapping some traffic there. Fightinger in the pink helmet. Austin Taylor in the was second there, and they go side by side in between himself and Danny O'Gara, who has like the greenish, white, and yellow helmet there on your screen. And they're early end to the heat race for the 57 with issues, and all this fighting, Fightinger and O'Gara, they continue to jockey for position the entire way through. They really had a good gap to the carts behind. And then O'Gara looking for the over-under move, wasn't close enough into that corner. Was able to get clear, just couldn't hold on to it. And then here's Fightinger, a little bit of a side pod there to Danny O'Gara. And O'Gara loses a spot to Taylor. And then last lap in the closing stages of the race, it's almost 7 carts in the train, and they go 3 wide here for a moment. And we always we're used to seeing how that turns out. Not too good for anybody. And then O'Gara was still leading from Austin Taylor. And then in the end, unfortunately, I think it was a little bit of a move there. And there goes Fightinger moving Danny O'Gara. A little bit of a bump and run, gets stuck on the outside. And Austin Taylor able to pick up the leftovers while the 2 of them fight. And Austin Taylor able to get the win here in the heat race, and puts himself on the front row and on the inside when he gets green for the main event later today. But what a race did we just witness, Alex. And we have a couple of more slated to come up next here shortly. While recovery gets underway, and while myself and Alex Searle have been talking, and we'll give ourselves a little break and take this time to hear a quick word from our sponsors.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace, because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop akr.com.
Welcome back here to Whiteland Raceway Park, round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. We just saw a great race in Mini Swift. Coming up next is the 206 Heavy guys. A lot of these drivers running double duty between 206 Master and 206 Heavy on the pole position. On the front row, so we're going to see Matt Geist and Evan McCorkadale there in your senior heavy qualifying. Then it's going to be Adam Dietz, Troy Toney there on the second row, JB Williams and Riley Galladay. That's your third row. Derek Barnes in 7th, Kaylor Nicholson in 8th, Brennan Lorink and Carl Maurer. That's your 10 kart senior heavy field. But for Evan McCorkadale, he put 3/10 on Matt Geist in this one. Nonetheless, though, 206 class. Draft's going to play a big factor in this one, and if the 206 Master race is anything to go off of, you should be in for a good race.
Yeah, it should be a good race indeed, right? And I mean, like you said, I mean, there's some good drafting opportunities throughout the back straightaway whenever we go into the bowl, and then on the main straightaway as well. So a lot of passing opportunities, like we saw earlier today. I mean, turns 1, 2, and 3 have been the ones where where you're seeing people push each other, and then in turn 3 into the hairpin that leads you onto the back straightaway is where we've seen a lot of moves. But that's all coming up next here for the racing action. But for your 206 heavies, they go into the tram lines and they get set to take the green flag for their final heat race here, their first and final heat race of the day. So they go into the tram lines for the first time, and they're green, and a good start so far by your pole sitter to get himself in a good gap to the drivers behind. That's the Burrell Art machine there of McCorkadale, who currently sits in that first spot. It's currently Geist, who's currently in that second spot, and Dietz as well is out there currently in the second spot, actually, at the moment. I think Geist, I don't know if he has some sort of issue, but he's not up there at the moment. So Dietz is up there. Geist isn't. Not sure where he finds himself at the moment. I think he's probably in third, but we're all going to find out when they cross the stripe this time by. So across the stripe for the first time, it's McCorkadale who leads from Dietz, and there's Geist in the third spot. Toney currently P4, Galladay P5, JB Williams P6, Barnes 7th, Nicholson 8th, Lorink 9th, and Maurer currently 10th here as they continue to push each other forward. And a couple of gaps already starting to form. So let's see what Dietz can do to challenge McCorkadale here in this one, Alex.
Yeah, so McCorkadale still leads over Adam Dietz there, or Adam Dietz, sorry. Then it's Matt Geist in third, Troy Toney, Galladay, that's your top 5. Matt Geist is the driver who goes purple, 43.579, 2/10 clear of the field last time by. So all over the bumper now of Adam Dietz there. So through turns 3 and into turn 4, do we see a move by any of the top 3? Not going to happen. McCorkadale trying to pull away, but Dietz and Geist were both quicker than what your leader was able to do last time by, partly due to the draft playing a big factor in this one. Further back, there's Toney and Galladay working well together there in 4th and 5th, so if the top 3 start the battle, cannot count out the drivers in 2nd and 3rd. 3 minutes to go, plus 2 laps in this one, so still plenty of racing to go in this heat race. So from McCorkadale, looks back, sees that his gap is closing. Galladay is the driver in 5th. He goes purple. The only driver to be in the 42s as it stands at 42.705. So the draft off of Toney is working, and that 3-car breakaway is now a 5-car breakaway as McCorkadale under fire from Dietz, who's also under fire from Geist, and now he has to worry about Troy Toney and Riley Galladay joining the mix here. And then further back, JB Williams is about a second back from this next group, so he's still in with a shout if these top 5 begin to battle here. 2 minutes and 20 seconds plus 2 laps to go. No one's made any change for position as it stands, and with 2 minutes left in this one, these drivers know that they have to be smart in order to get a good starting spot for the final, but you still need to be aggressive enough to put yourself in a good spot later this afternoon. So, for Matt Geist, do you have anything to say about what Adam Dietz is doing as it stands? Not yet. I think he's content enough to work with Adam Dietz, but the second he can get to his bumper, I assure you he will make a move, especially with McCorkadale starting to pull away here. Last time by, the fast driver on the racetrack was Matt Geist, as McCorkadale, again, the slowest of your top 4 drivers on board the Burrell Art machine. So Dietz and Geist doing everything they can to make McCorkadale work for this one with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, so a minute and a half to go, and like you said, right, for Dietz and Geist, they're going to have to try and work together, like you said, right, and try and get up to that rear bumper of the Burrell Art machine, because 2 karts, I mean, they're quicker than one, and it seems to be working out for them here at the moment, because they are closing down that gap little by little. They just have to hope that they have enough time when it comes down to it, as we have 1 minute left in this heat race. So let's see what these drivers can do if they want to contend here for the heat race win and put themselves in a better starting spot when it comes down to the main events here shortly. So they still continue to cycle through, and at the moment McCorkadale currently holds on strong here, so it's going to be 3 laps to go this time by, and side by side for that second spot. There goes Geist on that second spot and able to work his way up to P2.
Matt Geist finally gets his man there up into P2. Adam Dietz now is going to begin to go under fire from Troy Toney and Riley Galladay further back. When they cross the stripe this time around, the clock will strike 0. That means 2 sticks will be in the air, 2 laps to go for Evan McCorkadale, trying to go get a heat race victory for himself and the Burrell Art boys. Around the final corner now, 2 sticks in the air for Evan McCorkadale, but now Adam Dietz is beginning to assist Matt Geist and push him up to the front. So what can Geist do now that he has been unleashed from behind Adam Dietz, and now he is the next driver in line to try to make a move on McCorkadale through turn 4 and 5, down the back straightaway. This is as close as anybody's been. You see McCorkadale give the head tap to Geist. That is the universal signal to my cart is not as quick as yours right now, so you might be able to pass me here. Matt Geist thought about a move. McCorkadale goes way sideways through the back section of the racetrack, now through the penultimate corner into the final corner. They're going to see the white flag in the air this time around. Geist has a very good run here down the front straightaway. I don't think it's enough to make a move to the inside of turn 1. Not going to happen, but side by side there through turns 2 and 3. No move yet. McCorkadale going way defensive here. Look for Matt Geist to have a very good opportunity on the back straightaway here. But with a good turn 4 there from McCorkadale, it's not going to be enough for Matt Geist. Through the left-right chicane into the banked pole corner. 1 more, maybe 2 more opportunities for Geist. Not close enough here through the penultimate corner. Does he make a move to the inside? He thought about it, thought better of it. Maybe it was a feature race, he'd go for the move. Nonetheless, McCorkadale is going to see the checkered flags. He wins the heat race in senior heavy. Matt Geist P2, Adam Dietz P3, Troy Toney, Riley Galladay, that's your top 5. Then it's JB Williams, Kaylor Nicholson, Derek Barnes, Brennan Loren, and Carl Maurer.
Good race so far, but McCorkadale, it was all about him, and he was able to get it done. So for the 19 machine, going to start on the pole position here shortly. Let's run you back through the action of what occurred through that one here, Alex.
Yeah, so we saw McCorkadale get a good start and not look back from there. We saw Dietz get up to P2. The good old leather jackets and jeans making it work out there for Adam Dietz. We saw some side-by-side action between Matt Geist and McCorkadale earlier on in that race, but ultimately McCorkadale is the one that walked away with the victory ahead of Geist, ahead of Dietz, who in my opinion is in the best spot in the house. 3rd place is where you want to be around this place at the start of the race, because Usually it puts you P2 at the start like it did for Dietz in that one. So a great race in senior heavy as expected. Coming up next, however, is going to be the KA100 junior drivers here. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be Landon Boer and Ryan Moore on the front row of KA Junior. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
We're at a commercial break.
Welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park. We just saw the senior heavy guys come off the racetrack after a great heat race. Coming up next is the KA100 junior class. Their heat race is getting ready and set to begin. Engines are fired and they're hitting the racetrack for their 5-minute plus 2-lap heat race. Landon Boer on pole position ahead of Ryan Mort. Then it's Mason Gallion, Dane Van Dyke in 4th. Then it's going to be Graham Huffman and Charlie Myers in 6th. Then Evan Patton and Lucian Laser rounds out your field in the KA100 junior class here at Whiteland Raceway Park. Round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. KA100 junior, always an exciting class to watch. And it's an MPG front row lockout. Landon Boer and Ryan Mort is going to lead these drivers to the green.
Yes, Landon Boer and Ryan Mort getting set to take the green flag there. You saw team owner of the MPG Motorsports Camp, Billy Vincent. They're standing on the sidelines and looking on his team and looking on their complex and facility out here at Whiteland Raceway Park. It's Boer and Gallian who get set to go green here in this heat race. 5 minutes plus 2 laps in this heat race as they get set to go green, and into the tram lines they go for the 2 MPG Kart Republics. They get set to go green. The green flag is out, and we're officially racing here in KA100 Junior. A good start so far by that inside row as expected, but not too bad for Mort, who obviously didn't have that front row and already trying to make quick work and get himself up to the front of the field and start controlling.
Yeah, good start there for Landon Boer. Ryan Mort there falls back to P2 where he started. That's going to be behind him Mason Gallion all over the 812 of Ryan Mort's bumper. But Landon Boer, it's a dream start for the 820 machine. Already has about a second advantage over his teammate Ryan Mort, who's under fire from the likes of Mason Gallion there in P2. Then Dane Van Dyke in 4th. Then Graham Huffman is the driver in 5th. Lucian Laser 6th. Evan Patton is going to round out how your KA Junior field stands at the moment. Still 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go here for Landon Boer, who continues to stretch his legs on the field. So here's a good look at the 812 of Ryan Mort under fire from Mason Gallion there in 3rd. And then in 4th, how about it for Dane Van Dyke all over the rear bumper of both those drivers. Ryan Mort last time around went purple at a 38.8, still needs 1.3 seconds to get up to the lead as it stands at the moment. There's one of the lapped cars there that's going to be in front of Landon Boer when he gets there. But for Ryan Mort, you see him giving the signal saying, we need to work together here because, my teammate's getting away. So there's one of the MPG drivers there. That is the 886. That is going to be Charlie Myers there for the MPG camp. Further back, it's Ryan Mort again, faster than Landon Boer last time around. So the gap's now 1.2 seconds for your leader with the help of Mason Gallion and Dane Van Dyke there helping Ryan Mort get back to the front.
Yeah, so for Ryan Mort, trying to get himself back up to the front, currently sits 3rd in a little bit of a stagnant field here at the moment as we're 2.5 minutes in. So halfway through this heat race with plus 2 laps. So halfway through here at the moment, and they continue to try and chase down the likes of Charlie Myers and Landon Boer. So at the moment, it's been pretty stagnant in this KA100 Junior field and class, and they continue to push each other forward. Whenever you have a lot of teammates working out here, and a lot of these drivers, find themselves racing the big races later on in the year, and then, when they decide to do Stars Championship Series, it almost serves as a test weekend coming back out to a home track, and just getting as much intel and learning as much about the go-kart and fine-tuning the last little bits of driving before you get set for a big event like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always good when you can come back to a home track and kind of put everything together that you've learned and, get your confidence up at a track that you're very comfortable with. And so for Landon Boer there, extending his advantage over the rest of the field, but with his teammate there, as you see side by side, Ryan Mort and Mason Gallion going at it there for P2. Not what you want to see if you're the rest of the field, because they were actually closing that gap on Landon Boer, but with that battling, that's all Landon Boer needs now to go ahead and pull away. 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Trying to lap his teammate there, Charlie Myers further back. That is the 886 there of Charlie Myers. It shows him leading, but he is one of the cars that they are trying to lap in this one. And then Landon Boer now trying to get around his teammate there. And Dane Van Dyke has found himself up into P2 ahead of Mason Gallion and Ryan Mort. So how about it for Dane Van Dyke? What a run for him, up into P2 already.
Yeah, up at P2 already so far, and continuing to push forward. So 30 seconds left in this heat race. So let's see what it looks like as we continue to progress and the closing stages continue to go through. So Landon Boer, your leader. Myers currently 2nd. Van Dyke currently 3rd. Mort fell back to 5th here at the moment, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Mason Gallion currently P4. So, just a little bit of a spread through the field, and as they continue to cycle through, not much racing action here at the moment with that spread. The closest spot at the moment, I believe, is Ryan Mort, who's pretty close to the rear bumper there of Mason Gallion, and then more and more shuffling. So I definitely got it wrong because the timing continues to shuffle through. It says Landon Boer is leading, and then it says Van Dyke's P2 here. So, side by side there, further back. That's one of the top carts there, going side by side and battling one of the MPGs. So, That was the closest set of battling that we have at the moment. But there is your leader still lapping relatively good with 2 laps to go left in this one. The 820 of Landon Boer with a good gap behind to the 79 of Van Dyke.
Yeah, a good run here for Van Dyke. Last lap for all these drivers. Van Dyke closing the gap there over Landon Boer. You see, there's the gap. It was 1.1. Looks to be a little bit less than that this time around, but a little bit too late as it stands in the moment. So there's the 820 of Landon Boer ahead of Dane Van Dyke. And then further back, Mason Gallion has got around Ryan Mort there for third. So across the stripe, checker flag in the air. Landon Boer wins the heat race for KA Jr. Dane Van Dyke ahead of Ryan Mort, who gets back around Mason Gallion there to claim that third spot. Charlie Myers says in fifth, but I think they were lapping him there. But Graham Huffman ahead of Lucian Laser and Evan Patton.
Yeah, so that was a pretty tame one for the K100 juniors, and here's one of the replays that we have, the one and only, I believe. There's a pass for the back of the field. That was one of the MPGs looking to get the move done there on the inside. Was looked to be clear there for a second, then had to go back into the left-hander onto the back straightaway, and then just wasn't close enough to get it done. You're watching Kart Chasers live coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge here and Championship live from Whiteland Raceway Park. My name is Caleb Vieska, and alongside me, Alexander Suro. It's been a pleasure bringing you all this action, and there's still more to come here after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
Welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park, round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. This is the final heat race of the day, and it's the senior light drivers on your front row. It's going to be Ryan Gensheimer and the likes of Kyle Landon on pole position. That is going to be Eli Fox and Levi Wilbur on your second row. Jared Howerton, your winner in senior medium, he rolls off 5th. Gavin Baird in 6th. Braden Mayfield 7th. Keegan Day is going to be in 8th ahead of Kyler Peebles. Braden Johnson, that's your top 10 here for the senior light class. And then Dominic Stancombe, 11th. Gage Justiniano, 12th. Riley Baldwin, 13th. Nick Patton, 14th. Dylan Howerton, 15th. Rounding out your field, AJ Lund. Is showing AJ Lund here in 16th, so must have been some sort of penalty because he qualified in P2. So for AJ Lund there, tail end of the field for this heat race. It's going to make things very interesting when you have one of the fastest drivers in the class in 16th.
Alex, and if you don't mind me asking, where'd you get that starting grid order from?
I got this from Alpha Live Timing, but you could also find it on the Discord, where you can see all the results from the day. So if you haven't already, please join the Discord. I'm sure we'll have it popped up here multiple times throughout the rest of the broadcast, where you can scan the QR code and see where your favorite driver is starting for each of their races. Caleb, is that what you wanted to say?
That's exactly what I wanted you to say. So thank you very much for that, Alex. And I'm pretty sure everybody here would appreciate that, as you have the last couple of drivers warming up their tires for the final time. And Alex was able to find that on Discord, and you can find it there too. And then Alpha Live Timing as well for our timing and scoring. But into the tram lines we go. Green flag is out, and we are racing here in our 206 light category already. Everybody cycling through in a couple of moves. Pass for the lead. That's Fox. Was able to get himself up to the point of the field, so a good move there. And already a new leader into the first lap.
Eli Fox from 5th to 1st there in the opening lap. So now move Fox up to P1 ahead of Gensheimer, and then it's going to be Howerton there in 3rd. So a shocker of a start for your pole sitter, who's down in 4th. Wow, Gensheimer around the outside of Eli Fox. What a move for the MGM driver. Gensheimer, Fox, Howerton, Landon, Baird, Wilbur, Peebles, Braden Johnson, Mayfield, Day. That's your top 10. AJ Lund from last up to 14th already. I think the goal for him is probably a top 10. He'll be pretty happy with that one heading into the final. Further back, that's a battle for 5th. That's Baird and Landon and Kyle Landon going at it there for 4th. Up the field, though, Gensheimer, Fox, Howerton, the same top 3 that we saw in Senior Medium. It's the same top 3 here in Senior Light.
Yeah, so the same top 3 that we're seeing here. All these drivers just continue to battle it out here. It was Howerton, the driver, who was able to get the win, but he currently sits in 3rd at the moment. Has a lot of work to do if he wants to get and stay ahead of the likes of Fox and Gensheimer here. The two drivers, like you said, Alex, who were fighting each other a little bit earlier today, and it's just like deja vu because they do it all over again here in this one. 16 drivers total in this class, and these 3 have separated themselves from the rest.
Yeah, impressive stuff for the top 3. Then it's Gavin Baird, who got around Kyle Landon. So too did Levi Wilbur. So your pole sitter down in 6th already. Braden Johnson 7th. Braden Mayfield 8th. Where's AJ Lund? Up to 12th already. So impressive for the 43 machine. He's up to 11th now. Started tail end Charlie of the field, up to 11th for AJ Lund. He qualified 2nd. A penalty puts him to the back of the field, up to 11th now. If he can finish inside your top 7 or 8, there's a chance that he'll be a factor in the feature race to close out the races later this afternoon. But for your leaders, Gensheimer, Fox, Howerton, they're pulling away from the likes of Wilbur, Baird, and Johnson. But now that Wilbur, Baird, and Johnson have stopped racing and working together, let's see what they can do as a 3-car pack compared to the leaders last time by. Lap time wise, Wilbur was quicker than the 3 in front of him, and you'll have to look down to Gage Justiniano to see who went purple. 41.735. That lap good enough for purple, plus it got him back around AJ Lund. So Lund back into 12th, just to give you guys an idea of how stacked this senior light field is.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. AJ Lund was the driver who was battling for the KA Senior race win, and now he's out here trying to work his way up the field. So Lund actually was up in 11th, lost a spot. He's back to 12th now, but he still has a lot of work to do. As a minute and a half left in this race, and and still pretty stagnant between these drivers. I mean, not surprising. We're used to seeing this type of racing where you push and you get yourself in a comfortable space where you can fight in the last couple of laps for the best starting spot for the main event later today. But yeah, I mean, not surprising to see them stay stagnant and continue to push each other here, Alex.
Yeah, just smart stuff for three of your veterans now in the senior 206 field here for Gensheimer, Fox, Howerton. These are three that we expect to see at any stage, any level of 206 racing. So no surprise that they're leading this field around the racetrack here. 30 seconds plus 2 laps to go. It'll be very tight to see if they can make it before the 2 to go signal or not. So it's either 2 or 3 laps to go down the back straightaway through the left-right chicane and into the banked bowl corner. The three are working together very well and pulling away from Levi Wilbur, Baird, and Braden Johnson. Kyle Landon here, pole setter, down in 7th. AJ Lund has got himself back up into 11th. And look at the clock, 9, 8, 7. They're going to get 3 laps to go in this one. So an extra lap, essentially, because of how fast these leaders are going. So for Gensheimer and Fox now, they're pulling away slightly over Jared Howerton, who won the senior medium race earlier this morning. So Gensheimer wants revenge, so too does Fox. Let's see, with 3 to go, they know it's 3 to go. Do they work together or fight early? I suspect they're going to work together and make this a 2-car race through the bowl corner into one of the best pass opportunities on the racetrack. No moves being made. Smart driving from your 2 leaders. Now, 2 sticks in the air. Gloves are off for this one here. There it is. Flagman is giving the 2 to go signal. The drivers know they have 2 more chances at it. Again, it's just a heat race. This sets your order for the final. So no need to make too many risks in this one. But at the end of the day, you would rather start first than second, especially on a track where the outside gets left to dry more often than not. So for Fox, for Gensheimer, even for Howerton, this is the battle for the lead and the win this heat race.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the battle for the win and for the pole position for the main event later today. So Eli Fox and Gensheimer still battling it out here. Howerton losing a little bit of touch with these 2 drivers. But a good drive that time by Gensheimer to go purple. So let's see if Fox is close enough to attempt the move. Not as of yet. We have seen throw in a lot of moves in turn number 3. Wasn't close enough that time by. Gonna have to stay further back. And already Gensheimer going a little bit defensive to try to keep Fox behind. Fox very much in tow. Is going to get a good run here into the bowl corner. And still not close enough. It's going to be the last couple. And I think Ryan Gensheimer is going to have to defend here if he wants to try and keep Eli Fox behind. He goes low, but not low enough because Eli Fox was still able to stick a nose there. He gets it chopped off, and all the while, it was still Ryan Gensheimer who wins heat race number 1 for the 206 light class. Eli Fox finishing 2nd, Jared Howerton P3, Levi Wilbur P4, and Garen Baird P5 here in this one. So an exciting ending there to that heat race, and they waited all the while just for that last lap battle. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's Ready Racing with our main events. But first, let's watch a replay of that race here, Alex. I mean, it was you have a lot of laps around a place here like Whiteland Raceway Park, and I have heard that it's a very physical racetrack where you have a lot of G-forces throughout the bowl corner. I mean, just walk me through it. What are these light drivers? They're probably going faster than anybody else, pulling more G's than anybody else. What's it like going around this place?
Yeah, it's definitely a physical racetrack, especially through the bowl corner and even like turn 1, turn 2 with how fast the 2 left-handers are. So, yeah, physical racetrack, tough racetrack to maneuver, but these light guys do a great job. And obviously Gensheimer there ahead of Fox, 2 drivers that have laps around this place, as well as Howerton there. So a good show, as expected for the senior light guys. And that was the final heat race of the day. So now we're getting ready and set to go feature racing here. A slight break in the schedule before we get set to go feature racing for 9 minutes plus 2 laps in each main event. But first, a quick word from our sponsors.
Colin, I need a new 219 chain. I need a 77 tooth roof sprocket. I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow. Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the Kart on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place, and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop AKR.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
We're at a commercial break.
And I was like what?
Welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park. Round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. Here's a bit of a replay package of what we have seen throughout the day. Crazy racing action, especially in this afternoon slate of heat racing action. But we are set now to go finals racing for 9 minutes plus 2 laps in each heat race. So, Caleb, first heat race is about to be underway, and it's going to be the Super Masters here. What can we expect in this one?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a good race, right? Your Super Masters, usually people say, those are the craziest guys that are out here racing, right? Some of the oldest gentlemen that come out here, veterans of the sport, and it's always a good time watching them race, right? They always, elbows out racing the entire way. They're respectful at the same time, and they always deliver some great racing action. So, I mean, we can definitely expect, a great race here ahead of us, and to have them, just hard-fought racing the entire way through for 9 minutes, right? And then as well, I was talking to one of the MPG mechanics who had just recently gotten back into the seat, Rico Dobbins, who's probably there at the track right now. He's telling me that he was trying to run 206 light as well. And then whenever he would race, he said halfway through, it's just kind of physical at a track like Whiteland, right? With so many G-forces throughout some of the corners, So for them too, right? Having that stamina to go the entire 9 minutes and then plus 2 laps is going to be key and is going to be critical for them to try and keep their bodies as fresh as possible when it gets down to the nitty and gritty.
He knows the name of like every song. He's been at day one of everything. I remember he was watching The Office.
And again, if you guys already haven't, you guys should all join that Discord server. Should all join that Discord server and follow Race WRP on Instagram and give them a like on Facebook as well. So let's see what we're at here on Instagram, Alex. So right now we're at 1,009 followers for Race WRP. So if we can get that to, I don't know, 1,025. All right. If we can get that to 1,025 by the end of this stream, so those of you guys in and around the paddock, if you guys all, I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys can hear me. So, but I'm curious to know how many of these drivers follow Race WRP on Instagram. I bet if I asked some of them to raise their hands, who does and who doesn't, half of them would raise their hands if I asked who follows them on Instagram or who doesn't, and we'll get them to do it. But we'll give away some fun incentives for you guys to get you guys to follow Whiteland Raceway Park on all social medias. Join that Discord server as well to get all grid lineups, starting lineups, help here with the Indy Karting Challenge and more, as well as racewrp.com. You can go there for any registration or anything that you may need for the various different options, and subscribe on YouTube as well to the YouTube of Whiteland Raceway Park. To catch all this action as the engines start to come to life and all these drivers starting to fire up their engines. Since that 206 engine is a pull to start engine, it's not the easiest to start whenever you're sitting down. So maybe standing up is easier sometimes if you're there. But if you have someone helping out, whether it be a wife, a friend, a mechanic, or whoever it may be. That's much easier than having to start it yourself or what I do. I'm usually a lone wolf when I race, so I always sit down and people are like, hey, you want me to start your kart? I'm like, no, I need to do this. You know, I don't know. Just got to prove a point, and then you start your own go-kart. But that's how it is. Alex, I mean, I bet your little arms couldn't even reach that that string to start your 206. So, I mean,
No,
you definitely can't relate.
I was also a start my own go-kart kind of guy. There's a special technique to do it. There's a special technique. You know, you grab the lever before you get in, right? So then, when basically the second you step in the go-kart, boom, you pull it, and little arms or not, it's a good way to counteract that. But nonetheless, these Supermaster guys, the most experience on the grid. Also, the craziest. We call them the crazy old guys for a reason, right? Because I know for me, I mean, the dream is obviously to go out there and race Masters when I get older. But man,
hey,
I don't
mine
know.
Too.
The more I see these guys go out there and rip laps, man, I don't know if I want to do that when I get older. I don't know, man. It seems like these guys put it all on the line, and I feel like I wouldn't want to do that when I'm older. But that's why these guys are crazier than I am. Nonetheless, Jason Ewers on pole. Travis Wilbur there on the front row alongside him. So let's see, green flag in the air. Good start for Jason Ewers. Good start for Scott Galladay there as well into third, and now maybe second as they're side by side, door to door there. Giving them some love there. There's a spin. That is going to be the 4 of Galladay. So he's around and to the back of the grid. So for Jason Ewers, it is the perfect start for him. For Wilbur down in P2. And for McLaughlin now buying himself in third. That's going to give Richard Lowe a bit of a birthday present there. He moves up to 4th place. For Stevens, Lynn, Hudson, Burton, they all move up a spot because of Galladay's spin.
Yeah, so unfortunate spin there. And Alex, I mean, while we're here with the Supermasters, I mean, another topic that you know has been rising up around the karting paddock recently is there's a lot more younger guys, I guess, getting into the Masters class, right? Some places switching around, and then some people ask, what are the requirements? What should the requirements be for the Masters classes? And somebody on one of our Facebook comments said, in order to race Masters, you need to be married, divorced, married again, have kids in or out of high school, and be paying a mortgage, maintaining yourself, paying for kids or whatever it may not be. And then in order to race, you can't race with the big team. You got to do it out of the back of your truck, just with a kart stand. No easy up tent, no nothing. One toolbox, one 10mm wrench, whatever it is. And that's what it takes to really come out here and race Masters. And I feel like all these guys are doing just that, right? I mean, usually it's a weekend getaway, just get away from the wife, get away from the kids, and to spend a little time for themselves, right? I mean, people don't realize, I mean, parents spend so much time putting in so much time to their kids or whatever passion their kids may have. And then, sometimes, the parents want to go out there and have some fun as well. So it's good to see as many Masters drivers as we do have, Super Masters drivers at that, out here racing, having a good time, going side by side, wheel to wheel, and just having a good time and being competitive all the while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always love reading that Facebook thread, and to me that should be a rule. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet on any series, but somebody make it happen. Please put that in fine print. That should be the requirement to be a Masters driver. Because at the end of the day, I think all these guys probably check that box anyways, so might as well just put it in writing for these guys. But nonetheless, Jason Ewers, so far so good for him. Just like in the heat race, it's pretty smooth sailing for the 19 driver out front. 1.3 second advantage. Now it's 1.9 ahead of Travis Wilbur. Then it's William McLaughlin, Tom Stevens, Mike Bocart, Richard Lowe. Where is Scott Galladay? Down in 9th after that spin in turn 3 on the opening lap. So it's looking to be a comeback drive there for Galladay. He's down in 10th now as it stands. So yeah, Jason Ewers looks to have this one in the bag. I don't want to speak too early. There's still 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps, but if the heat race is anything to go off of, then Ewers is got a leg up on the field as it stands.
Yeah, a leg up on the field for sure. I mean, Alex, you're 20 years old, correct?
Yes. Good job.
So you have what, 10 years until we're racing Masters and going around, and then I don't know, probably another 30 and until we're racing Super Masters. I mean, we have quite a while, but I mean, how do you feel? You know, you're a lot closer. 10 years until we're in the Masters seat, and only it will, I guess, only 5 away from the minimum age to race in senior.
Yeah, I mean, listen, mark my words. The goal, 30 years old, master shifter. That's gonna be. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna join me on that journey.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a good time. I mean, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna test. All right. I'm not gonna run actual shifter. No way. But master shifter, right? Go out there with me and the rest of the crazy old guys out there, and we'll have a good time. I mean, I already feel like I'm getting old. I'm already feeling like I'm getting old, man. I mean, I crossed, the 2-decade mark, and that's we're getting up there in age, man. I feel like if I raced senior right now, I'd be too old for senior with how many kids are starting to join senior at 14 and 15.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I already feel like I'd be out of luck with that one. But nonetheless, yeah, the second I hit the 3-decade mark, sign me up for Master Shifter. And I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up in a pickup truck. You and I, we can share the same truck. I know you have one. We can share the same truck. No tents allowed, like you said. And I mean, listen, I don't even think we should rock the toolbox. That's a little too much. We're gonna go straight finger tightening and hoping that our stuff stays on.
Hey, that's what it's all about. And I really bet people around the paddock are just listening to us talk. Previous former teenagers are like, man, these kids are a little cuckoo talking about Masters in their 20s. So, but yeah, stuff you got to plan for. It's coming up, and I'd like to be Super Nats champion at the age of 35 someday, or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's race going good so far for the likes of Jason Ewers, Travis Wilbur, Willie McLaughlin, Tom Stevens, and Mike Beaukert. 3 minutes to go left in this one here. I mean, Alex, we know the track isn't so dependent around this place, and we know it has a lot of tight infield sections that lead to the big straightaways that lead to the bowl. I mean, what are you looking for, like, in gear whenever you get set to go for a racetrack like this?
Yeah, it's tough. We saw it earlier today with the senior Masters drivers, not the senior Super Masters, but the Masters guys, where we saw the likes of Geist and one of the Burrell drivers there go at it, and we saw how on the front straightaway Geist had an advantage, in the corners the Burrell driver had the advantage. So for a track like this, you kind of want to find a happy medium where you're quick enough on the straights to where no one can really draft by you, but you also want to have something for the corners, because turn 2, 3, and 4 are back-to-back-to-back hairpins. Then you come out of the bowl corner, another hairpin. The last corner is also a hairpin, so you need enough oomph off the corner so you're not struggling on the straightaway, but you also don't want to be too low on the gear to where you have too much straightaway speed, not enough corner speed, and you don't want to have too much corner speed and then you just get blown by. Because at the end of the day, the back straightaway is long enough. I mean, there's a chicane in the middle of it all, but it's still flat out. So you don't want to be too high on the gear, rocket ship to the corners, get blown by in the straights, like we've seen some drivers throughout the day happen to them. So for me, I'd always go middle ground of a track like this and play from there. But usually the rule of thumb at a 2 of 6 class is you try to go as low as possible without losing too much time. We talk about it on the Grid Talk podcast, where the goal kind of is, if you're the lowest gear on the track and still make it work, chances are you're going to win that race. And I mean, for me, when I raced CK&A Grands and I was able to win that race, I was the lowest gear on the entire racetrack. We got that kart dialed in. The roll speed was perfect on my chassis, and from there it was about just maintaining the gaps and making it work. So yeah, a track like Whiteland, it's a middle of the ground racetrack in terms of gearing, but you still want to be able to pull out a pass here. We're getting a good view at the battle here for I believe 3rd and 4th there. between McLaughlin and or Stevens and Baukart there for 4th and 5th. We're seeing Baukart there get a good run to the back straightaway, side by side between himself and Stevens. Not enough to make it happen as it stands for the moment, but still a minute left plus 2 laps for Jason Ewers. 4.5 second advantage over Travis Wilbur. Willie McLaughlin in 3rd, and then there's the battle between Stevens and Baukart for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, so a lot of battling all the way through with the time dwindling down. Like we said, just 40 seconds left for the first of our main events here, which has been, a great and successful round number 3. Started bright and early at 8 a.m. with our warm-up sessions, and it's been great racing the entire day here for what's been a great round number 3. For the likes of Jason Ewers, leading us away here with a pretty good gap out here on the racetrack. Currently 15 seconds, not 15 seconds, sorry, 15 seconds left on the time, and 4 seconds behind to Travis Wilbur here at the moment, as more and more drivers continue to cycle through. There on your screen, that's the 38 of Rick Hudson there, who continue to cycle through. And I think, you know what, Alex, another rule for these Masters, jeans and a jacket is respectable attire for 206 Masters. I really think you have to be wearing jeans and a jacket. We should add that to the list. So our list now includes divorced, married, divorced, remarried again, kids in high school or out of high school, preferably older, and you jeans and a jacket mandatory attire, as we have a couple of guys going side by side here onto the main straightaway, and gonna signal each other forward here. But with 2 laps to go, Jason Ewers lost a little bit of time that lap, almost half a second, so still out there and leading, but lost a little bit of time last time by. So 3.5 seconds back to Travis Wilbur. 2 laps to go left in this one. Actually, last lap now, Jason Ewers crosses the stripe. So he's working his way through the first couple of corners into the 1-2-3 complex here at the moment.
Yeah, half a lap to go for the 19 machine of Jason Ewers. White flag in the air, a dominant performance, and a grand slam is about to be complete for the number 19 of Jason Ewers, who has been utterly dominant, untouchable for the entirety of this weekend, or this Saturday afternoon here. So in the Super Masters class, the Super Masters final, Jason Ewers is about to cross the stripe to win the feature race here in Super Masters. Travis Wilbur second, Willie McLaughlin 14 seconds back, but he's going to cross the stripe to finish in 3rd. Then it's going to be Tom Stevens ahead of Richard Lowe. Mike Baukart had an issue there at the end of that one. He goes from 4th down to 10th place there. So unfortunate there for Mike. But for Jason Ewers, the Grand Slam is complete. He is your winner, and he is victorious in Super Masters.
Yeah, so a good race there by Jason Ewers to win that one. So let's give you a little bit of replay of what we saw during that race. A lot of racing action the entire way through, side by side. And there you have it. We had a spinner early on. That's the number 4 in the Marlboro livery there, who went for a spin on the entry of turn number 3. Jason Ewers was able to get clear, stay ahead, kept his head down, and smooth sailing, leisurely Saturday afternoon drive through some back roads at the oldest karting track in the United States. And then we had another top kart go for a little bit of a spin there, and there's Jason Ewers once again, jeans, jacket, the entire Masters attire, like we were talking about earlier, Alex, and worked his way through the field, and had a really good drive in doing so, and an enjoyable one as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a good race all throughout here in the Super Masters class, and a lot of action further back, but for Jason Ewers, the action was all up at the front of the field with a dominant victory there for the number 19 machine. See a few drivers there with mechanical issues towards the end of that one. That might have been Mike Bocart. But there's Jason Ewers crossing the line. 2 checkered flags in the air. Your winner in the Super Masters final. Domination for the number 19 driver. Next up is Micro Swift. But before we do that, a quick commercial break from our sponsors.
We're at a commercial break.
Welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park. Round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge here. We just saw our Super Masters feature race with Jason Ewers claiming the victory. Now it's time for Micro Swift, where we are going to see Reagan Hodges versus Chase Call, Leah Simonelli, and Patrick McNeely. 4 drivers makes up your Micro Swift grid. Nonetheless, though, we saw a great battle in that heat race. 2 tenths separating Hodges versus Call. So look for more exciting battles here as the drivers hit the racetrack. Hodges on the pole, Call in P2.
Yeah, Call starting P2 here in this one. On the back row, it's going to be Patrick McNeely starting on that 3rd row, and Leah Salmonelli as well starting on that 2nd row. Doing a great job here so far as they're going to get set to go green here in this one. As these drivers are going to line up now, and going to get them to slow down so we can get this race underway. So the top cart going to lead us away here in this one. It's Hodges here at the moment, who's driver slated to start on the pole position as well. So they go into the tram lines and it looks good here. The green flag is out and we are racing here in the Micro Swift final. Good start so far, and there further back, McNeely looked to make the move there on Call. Wasn't close enough that time by, and already good gap so far by Reagan Hodges here. Who's done a great job all day long. I mean, we saw earlier today, side pod looked like a bird, as Alex said, flew off her go-kart. This time, we hope everything stays on, and she's had a really, really good performance all day long in her go-kart to keep it out of the front. For Chase Call as well, been in 2nd in the day, and sorting a little bit from Reagan Hodges, who currently leads us away. So for Chase, gonna have to find some time, but doing a great job here so far, nonetheless, to keep it in the podium places and keeping it consistent here. And for McNeely as well, as they go side by side there, further back. That's Simon Ellick there, and McNeely here going side by side and battling it out for that 3rd spot for the last of the podium places. And that's the 40 of Simon Ellick, who currently sits in that 3rd spot. So a good move there to work his way up and ahead of Patrick McNeely there. So already some battling here. Alex, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, right? Starting our own class for people who are vertically challenged, like yourself and myself. You know, the 206 senior what do we call it? Short King Senior or something like that. So we'll probably get that going. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff, across the years. I mean, the likes of Diego Ramos, Burrell, our driver. He coaches kids in cadet chassis all the time with the Rock VLR strap to the side of it. So, I mean, why couldn't we do the same thing, right? We lost a couple pounds, got in the gym a little bit, maybe stopped eating like a lot, and then we'd be right there, fitting in these go-karts, right, with a huge seat, but getting in there.
I think that'd be so much fun. We need to make it happen. I mean, I know there's what is it? I think it's called the Mini 60, and there's a bunch of chassis where I know Billy Musgrave's done it, where you can put a shifter motor on the side of one of these mini chassis. So it's possible. I mean, we should reach out to Billy and make that happen. Put a big seat in there. I know we can reach the pedals, so we should make that happen. That'd be a really fun time. Putting no weight on that thing, we can set some lap records on that for sure.
Yeah, lap records, and I mean, maybe two-wheeling it the whole time with the entire weight transfer and everything that you got going on. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure you'll fit. I don't know about myself. It's just it'll be a squeeze, but we can probably get it done. We'll figure something out, right? I mean, these chassis they're not too small, but for these drivers, the perfect size, the perfect amount of weight transfer, and Reagan Hodges doing a great job of that here right now. I mean, Alex, you were, not future. You were a micro Swift and mini Swift driver yourself. I mean, what's key for these drivers to work their way around a racetrack like Whiteland whenever you have such lower speeds and keeping that momentum of the go-kart up, right?
Yeah, it's smooth hands. It's roll speed. You're treating it like a 206 because the lap times that you see from these micro and mini drivers are identical to what you'll see from like a 206 junior and senior engine package. So for these drivers, that's why I love the young kids starting so early rather than getting into it late, if possible, of course. So these drivers getting very valuable seat time that they won't even realize until they're older how much they're going to appreciate being in a seat this young, because you learn smooth hands, you learn how to carry speed through a corner without bogging the motor down, you learn a whole bunch of stuff. You learn racecraft right at a young age, so when you get older you're not as afraid of it. You're a little more aggressive, you're more aware of things around you. It's overall just the best class, really one of the best classes to me, whether it's sportsman, cadet, mini, micro, one of the kid classes, even kid kart, just to get started in a go-kart, but especially with these micro categories, the slowest of the two-stroke categories available to us. It really teaches you how to be smooth with the steering wheel, and Reagan Hodges is a perfect example of that. You can see how little she moves the steering wheel, but it works for her. An 8-second lead over Chase Call in second place, so a dominant performance, and we're only 4 minutes in to a 9-minute main event, so she has a chance to make this a 10-second plus win for the 33 machine.
Yeah, so not too bad for Reagan Hodges here at the moment, who's been doing a great job, all day long, contending for race wins in the morning, contending for race wins in the afternoon, and really doing a great job of it, right? And you see how she muscles her way, in this go-kart, as small as she is and as, physical as a track like Whiteland is, the way that she moves in the seat, the way that, the smoothness in the hands is just, really cool to see for a driver so young and driving with such class. I mean, not scared at all, throwing the kart in there, trusting it's going to stick and getting that out, so she's doing a really, really good job to keep her kart out in front.
Yeah, really impressive stuff for Reagan there. 8.5 seconds now is the advantage that she has over Chase Call. 8.4 seconds, 9.5 seconds now as Reagan Hodges puts another second on the field. Elliot Simonelik, a personal best. He has now closed the gap to less than half a second between himself and Chase Call. Patrick McNeely sits in fourth as it stands. 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go here for Reagan Hodges. 7 laps in the books, at least another 8 or so laps to go in this main event. A little more than that, probably closer to 10 before it's all said and done here for round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge here at Whiteland Raceway Park. a dominant showing being displayed by Reagan Hodges, who extends her lead to 10.5 seconds. Unbelievable stuff from Reagan.
Yeah, unbelievable for sure. And with 3 minutes left, I mean, you know, it's the fact that she can drive how she's been driving and not look, well, one, not look over your shoulder once to even check the gap, because that gap's over at 10 seconds. So not even check your shoulder once, for one, and to be able to drive the way she's been driving all day long and do it so consistently is something else. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege and the honor, and for the first time, and really, well, not the first time, I like the third time in my career, lead a race with a big gap, and the entire time, I mean, you start making mistakes, right? As the more and more you go through, but I mean, she's doing a great job to not make any mistakes, right? And again, I'm a washed-up racing driver. Alex, we all are here at Kart Chaser, the majority of us. But Reagan's doing a really good job to stay consistent, which is the biggest thing in development for drivers at such a young age, right? Keeping them consistent, keeping the hands smooth is really what matters whenever you're coaching kids through the ranks. And I mean, you yourself have experience coaching, a majority of drivers, and I shouldn't say majority, a lot of drivers, throughout the Florida karting scene. And I mean, what's one thing that you're telling kids whenever they're working their way up, and what are you telling them whenever they're you're trying to get them to develop to become maybe a national level driver one day?
Yeah, well, so a common trend that I've noticed when I coach young kids, a lot of the kids that I coach down there at Homestead and other racetracks are mini micro drivers. A lot of things that I notice is some drivers, when it's a slower engine package, you want to use less brake and more gas. Sometimes it's not the case, right? And sometimes it's slow in, fast out. So that's like the biggest thing that I hammer down. It's smooth hands, and it's use your eyes more, right? The car goes where your eyes go, so you got to be looking where you want to go at all times. So I've seen many drivers, have like a tunnel vision where they look ahead, and so we usually tend to work on that. That's one of the first things that I attack is, listen, we need to work on our turn-in, our apex, our exit. It'll help you connect the dots. That's kind of what I tell all the kids. Listen, it's a big game of connect the dots out here. Once you can kind of get that in your head, things can become easier. We can roll more speed into the corner confidently without, if we're looking where we want to go, all of a sudden it becomes an easier task for you to do behind the wheel. And so whenever I watch Reagan and all these drivers go out there on the racetrack, I'm watching her line. It's great to see, really rolling the speed. Her hands are super smooth. She's carrying a lot of speed, but also she's treating these corners, slow in, fast out. There's this hairpin here, sets it up beautifully. And once again, I mean, another second taken out of the rest of the field there. A 13-second lead now over the rest of the Micro Swift category. So, yeah, Reagan doing exactly what I would want her to do if I was out here coaching. And it's always great to see, the future, right? The rising stars, the future of motorsports, like you and I like to say, for these Micro and Mini Swift drivers. So, yeah, always good to see like who we can expect to see in Mini and Junior and Senior as we get older. And for sure, these are all the stars of the future. Here's a good battle for second and third as Chase Call and Liat Simonellik now. Simonellik has been battling all race long to close that gap to Chase Call, and now as the clock has struck 0, 2 sticks in the air, potentially for Liat Simonellik, he might have a chance here to get one step higher on the podium. Not as high, obviously, as Reagan Hodges, though, a half racetrack ahead of these two.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a good race so far for Liat Simonellik as well. I mean, a great drive started on the second row, had to make the move on Patrick McNeely, was able to get it done, and then the entire race had to chase down Chase Call, and has done a great job of it. So for Liat Simonellik, looking to go one spot better on the podium here with 2 laps to go left in this race. So for Chase Call and Liat Simonellik, they're going to battle it out, but Reagan Hodges here in a different zip code at the moment, going through the bowl, and then for the other boys at the moment, they're going through the first couple of corners here at the moment. So for Reagan, doing a great job, still out there on the front, and still pushing here because when she crosses the stripe, it's going to be 1 lap to go, white flag in the air. So last lap here for Reagan Hodges.
That was the checkered flag actually there. So sorry about the timing and scoring there. About a lap off there. So checkered flag in the air. Reagan Hodges wins in Micro Swift. And how about it? Liam Simonelli on the last lap. It took him all 9 minutes and 2 laps, but he got around Chase Call there.
Yeah, but what a race there, Alex. I mean, Reagan, congratulations. A great race so far. So here we have it. We had a couple of battles there. Leah Samonelli and Chase Colin Patrick McNeely all battling it out for the start of that race. And it was all about this young lady here who was able to get it done and had a great day at the racetrack. Almost went 2 for 2 on the day, but unfortunately in the cadet and sportsman class earlier this morning wasn't able to get it done, but she was able to get it done here for the Micro Swift class. So a very good race there for Reagan, so congratulations. When we come back, we have more racing action coming your way. You're watching Kart Chasers live coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Well, welcome back to the Indy Karting Challenge here as we take a closer look into our recovery vehicle. Luckily hasn't been used all too much today. It's parked there on the infield. But it's a pleasure being here with all of you guys in and around the paddock as the sun starts to go away, dim away. And the temperatures begin to drop here again. It's currently 4:58 p.m. Eastern time, and having a good time as you see there all the MPG Motorsports crew with all of their drivers that are out here in racing. Danny O'Gara and more getting set to go green here. So the temperatures already, wind continuing to pick up. It's been windy pretty much all day long, and still a very chilly Indiana like afternoon here this weekend. But it's been a great day of racing regardless as these drivers work their way out onto the racetrack. 53 degrees, and the weather here this weekend has been beautiful for racing. The engines work better under cooler weather. Not too cold, but the wind obviously makes it feel a little bit cold. But as we get set to go racing here in this one, let's run you down your starting order for your Mini Swift class as we get set to take the green flag here shortly. Let's run you down your heat results and try and get that pulled up as quickly as possible. And I just got lost in that Discord group, so make sure to join that as well if you want to see and don't have to rely on on myself. But it's Austin Taylor starting on the pole position. Dylan Thomas starting alongside him. Titus Roberts, starting third. Gaddis P4, Ferris 5th, O'Gara 6th, Feichtinger P7, and they all get set to go green. The green flag is out. We are officially racing here in the Minnesota class, side by side all the way through. A lot of drivers getting shuffled there out of position. There goes Feichtinger trying to make the move there on the inside as well, able to get clear, and a little bit of a hip check there between one of those drivers. But they're all able to get clear and through, but a good start for your pole sitter. Sorry, not the best start for your pole sitter of Austin Taylor, who falls back to the third spot and is going to get passed here by Thomas and another one of the MPG drivers. That's I think that's Danny O'Gara already up to the second spot. So he had a monstrous start here. So Danny O'Gara already up to P2. It's Gaddis who currently leads. Danny O'Gara, yes. P2 here at the moment. Taylor P3, Feichtinger currently P4, Evan Roberts running out your top 5 here in this one. Insane first lap and opening lap for Danny O'Gara here in this one, who finds himself already into the top 2 and on the hunt to try and catch up to that 714 machine of Dominic Gaddis, who's further up the field. The rest, just outside the top 5, is Thomas Hendrickson currently P7, Wiley P8, Ferris P9, McCann P10, Avalos P11, and Sears, shotgun Charlie on the field here at the moment, and trying to make moves. He currently sits P12 for Dalton Sears, and Avalos currently P12 now. He's currently P12. But Danny O'Gara already getting close to that point of the field. Went purple last time by a 41.247, and trying to close down that gap to the driver up ahead. So he's making some good work of it. So that's the 251 who's currently leading here. Not showing up on the timing screen. So Danny O'Gara currently sits second. So slide everybody else back another slot too. So that's the 251 there. Unfortunately not showing up on our screens, but still out there. And there's Gaddis as well, who works his way through. O'Gara closing down the gap on the main straightaway and having a really good run through there. So, just got confirmation that 257 is the kart in the lead. Not on timing. I don't have an exact name on that, but I can find it. O'Gara, though, closing down the gap into the bull here. He's getting super close. Into the hairpin we go. O'Gara looked like he wanted to go for the move, got better of it. Going to stay in that second spot. And O'Gara, with a lot of work to do, he wants to pass a fellow MPG teammate here in this one. So they continue to work their way through there, and still no moves as of yet for Danny O'Gara, who just hasn't been close enough to get the move done as of yet. So O'Gara still there in that second spot and closing down that gap to the 257. If it's the 257, it should be Jordan Carrans then, who's in the lead of the race here at the moment in the 57 machine. So it's Jordan Carrans who leads. Was marked as a DNS for that last heat race, but it says the 57 is of Carrans. So that's your driver in the lead here at the moment for Dominic Gaddis. He's further back in the field there, but O'Gara already with some work to do if he wants to close down that gap here at the moment to Carrans. And already into the hairpin, O'Gara just hasn't been close enough to attempt that move, and that the driver in the 257 able to stay ahead here. So just got confirmation it is Dominic Gaddis in the lead. And we're done with the speculation. So Dominic Gaddis is the driver in the lead. Daniel O'Gara currently second. Austin Taylor P3. Will Feichtinger P4. And Dylan Thomas currently P5. So O'Gara just content to follow around Dominic Gaddis here at the moment. And just waiting and biding his time to make the move here, Alex.
Yeah, for sure. O'Gara playing this very smart. He knows there's still 5 minutes and 2 laps to go in this one. And again, it's an MPG 1, 2, 3, 4. here in Mini Swift. So domination for the MPG boys. So for O'Gara, he knows what it takes to win around this, not only this track, but many tracks around the country, and especially Mini Swift. It takes working together with your buddy, and if you can get a teammate to work with you like he's doing with Gaddis here, that is ideal. For Austin Taylor, 1.7 back. For Will Feichtinger, after a poor start there, he's actually quicker than your leaders last time by. 2.9 seconds he needs to find. But nonetheless, MPG 154, I'm sure Billy Vincent's going to be very happy on that mechanics fence there. As long as these boys can bring it home, doesn't really matter who it is as far as Billy's concerned. But for Dominic Gaddis, he wants to be him. For O'Gara, he wants it to be himself. And for Austin Taylor and Feichtinger, once again, 2/10 faster than your leaders. Gaddis, though, goes defensive on O'Gara. It's almost time for O'Gara to make a move here. Crossover into turn number 4, down the back straightaway. Looks as though Gaddis has the advantage gearing-wise. Yeah, motors by O'Gara, so O'Gara couldn't make the move stick through the back section of the racetrack, the chicane and the back straight. So O'Gara, yeah, looking for a way around. Thought about the outside, a bit of contact between teammates. Not ideal, but that's okay in the grand scheme of things. 4 minutes plus 2 laps remaining. Feichtinger taking even more time out of your leaders last time by. The gap is now 2.6 seconds between Feichtinger and the leaders. Austin Taylor 2 seconds back, so if these two begin to battle, then things could get interesting, but as it stands, it is a mano-a-mano fight between the two MPG boys. Gaddis leads over O'Gara, 3.5 to go in this one. When will Danny O'Gara decide that it's his chance to lead?
Yeah, so O'Gara just biding his time, and he just didn't have the momentum a couple laps ago to really work his way around. I mean, it looked like he was setting up an over-under, but just had to cut the track short to not lose too much time to Gaddis on the exit there of turn number 5. So what does it look like this time by for O'Gara? Looked like he thought about the move, just wasn't close enough. And like you said, Alex, I mean, it just seems like Gaddis has enough to keep O'Gara at bay here. So Gaddis doing a great job of continuing to push forward, and O'Gara just, not able to really get that move done as of yet. I mean, we talk about having that little bit of that extra oomph. I mean, we talk about it all day long, right? We talked about it in 206, and we talked about it in these lower speed 2-stroke classes as well. It seems like O'Gara just needs that last little bit to get ahead of Dominic Gaddis here in this one. So it's going to be an all-out brawl with 2 minutes to go plus 2 laps for Dominic Gaddis and Danny O'Gara in this race. So we'll see how it goes for these drivers as they continue to pull further and further away of Austin Taylor and Will Feichtinger. I mean, they've played this out beautifully, right? I mean, they haven't fought. They kept it, they kept it clean the entire time, pushed each other forward, found the space on the racetrack, and they just keep pushing each other into deeper and deeper waters to create that gap where they can fight. But Danny O'Gara just went purple last time by, so a really good lap time by O'Gara. So let's see what it looks like this time. Does he have enough speed? Does he have that last little bit of momentum that he's lacking to get ahead and try and make the move, or is he just being patient here with Dominic Gaddis?
Yeah, we're about to find out. O'Gara went purple. Gaddis with a personal best last time by. They have enough of an advantage now over Austin Taylor to where they can afford to battle and not lose their first and second place positions respectively. So 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. So that's 5 laps to go here in this Mini Swift main event. O'Gara purple once again here, but pushing Gaddis all the way through. It's a 1v1 situation. If you're the MPG boys out front, 3.8 now ahead of Austin Taylor, so they are starting to really gap their teammates further back. That was a good attempt there from O'Gara with a decent exit on turn 4, but again, Gaddis has just enough motor in that thing. Oh, a bit of contact there in the middle of the bowl corner between O'Gara and Gaddis. That's going to cost O'Gara a bit of momentum through the last couple of corners here. Now it's 45 seconds plus 2 laps to go. Gaddis with a car length advantage, not enough to really feel comfortable if you're Gaddis, because O'Gara with the draft is right back up to the rear bumper of the 257 machine here. Through turns 2, turn 3, Now turn 4 onto the back straightaway. They're just going to not have enough time here. So when they cross the stripe, they're going to see 2 to go this time around, Caleb.
Yeah, 2 to go this time by. As time continues to run out, they are going to catch some traffic here shortly. So let's see how Gaddis and O'Gara cycle their way through it here in this one. But for O'Gara, currently has the fastest lap of the race, but just needs that last little bit to get ahead of Dominic Gaddis. You see the fences are aligned, watching the future stars. Well, they're already stars, but watching the stars of tomorrow, whether it be IndyCar, NASCAR, or whatever, it may be any type of motorsports. These the people here just on the fence line, stacked and packed, and they go side by side. O'Gara looking for the move, thinks it's close enough to get it done, gets a little bit out of shape there, and Danny O'Gara loses a lot of time there, and with a lot of work to do. Luckily for him, there's a lap over there. Oh wow, up and over, up and in the air there as Dominic Gaddis had to find his way through. The 2.6 are in the air though this time by, and O'Gara going to try and find the gap to get ahead of Dominic Gaddis here. Crazy scenes. O'Gara first gets a little bit out of shape and then Gaddis up and over of Lincoln Wiley there, unfortunately, and just a lifeline there for O'Gara, and they brought him right back nose to tail, bumper to bumper here, Alex.
Chaos has ensued for your top 2. I thought after O'Gara got sideways it was over, but then the next corner, Gaddis climbs over top of one of the lap cars there. That could have gotten ugly, but luckily they're both facing the right direction. Nonetheless, white flag in the air for Gaddis and O'Gara. Who knows the damage that Gaddis has? Maybe a bit of a bent chassis here. Doesn't matter. He needs to hold on for half a lap more. Turn 3, whoa, 8 lines, O'Gara into the side of his teammates. Wow, Gaddis holds on. Look for the crossover in 4. Textbook from Danny O'Gara. But a drag race between Gaddis and O'Gara through the chicane. Who's going to hold on? Dominic Gaddis. Wow, elbows out racing to the 2 FPG boys. Now towards turn number 7 here and 8. Look for the switchback. One more chance for O'Gara. Does he have it on the exit? Gaddis looks to have him clear side by side. Dominic Gaddis, fist in the air. He can celebrate all he wants now. He wins ahead of his teammate Danny O'Gara. And then it's Austin Taylor, Will Feitinger, Bentley McCann. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 for the boys in red and white. MPG, they have got to be very happy with how their drivers have performed.
Wow, I mean, a good race for the entire MPG team. And here we go. Our production crew has cooked up a good replay segment here for all of us. And there you have it. I mean, it was off to a good start for Taylor there. And then Danny O'Gara starting just outside of the top 5, was able to work his way into the top 5. And by the end of the second lap was already up into the second spot. And Dominic Gaddis, the entire way through, O'Gara and Gaddis just pushed each other further and further away from the rest of the field. And they created themselves with a good cushion to the rest of the drivers behind. And it was this was the story, right? I mean, it was an 8-wheeled go-kart at some points in this race. And you couldn't even stick a paper in between these two drivers. And then it all ensued here towards the end where these drivers, continued to fight. But you see how close, O'Gara was following Gaddis the entire way through, just didn't have that last little bit of top-end speed to really able to lunge himself ahead of Gaddis here in this one, unfortunately for Danny O'Gara. And you see there through the boy, just O'Gara a little bit out of shape, but able to stay, nose to tail, bumper to bumper with Dominic Gaddis there. And the entire way through, I mean, it was great racing in between, all these guys. And I think this is the incident we had there where O'Gara gets a little bit out of shape, a little bit of a hip check there from I think Dominic Gaddis, and gets out of shape. And this is where Danny O'Gara just got thrown a lifeline as Dominic Gaddis went over to the rear bumper there of one of the back markers and just completely flies 2 wheels up in the air, almost 3 wheels up in the air, I should say, for Dominic Gaddis. And Danny O'Gara with new life towards the end of that race just wasn't close enough in the end to really get ahead and stay ahead there. They go side by side, a little bit of contact in between the two of them. O'Gara just trying to find his way through, over, under move. And this is where you expect O'Gara to really, work his way forward. But, I mean, the the top end that Dominic Gaddis just has compared to Aguirre's was a little too much, and it was Dominic Gaddis who took the win in the end of what was a really good race in between Danny O'Gara and Dominic Gaddis there, Alex.
Yeah, many Swift drivers always know how to put on a show. The heat race was awesome. The final might have been even better there with that last 2 laps of nail-biting finishes. At least for the MPG guys, I'm sure they were not enjoying that. But nonetheless, a 1, 2, 3, 4, they can now finally take a sigh of relief there and be happy with the result that they got in Mini Swift. Nonetheless, we go from one of the youngest to some of the senior drivers here. Senior Heavy is getting set to hit the racetrack, and they have hit the racetrack. It's Evan McCorkadale and Matt Geist on the front row, and then it's Adam Dietz, Troy Toney, then it's going to be Riley Galladay and J.D. Williams, Derek Barnes, Kaylor Nicholson, Brennan Larink, and it's going to be the likes of Carl Maurer. That's going to round out your field here in the 206 heavy class. So, McCorkadale versus Geist. Inside for Evan, outside for Geist. The inside row is seemingly the row that you would like to be on, but let's see. That could all change in the blink of an eye here. Rounding the final corner, looking for the flagman's signal here. Slow and steady for your pole sitter. You cannot cross the line before the pole sitter does. So for Matt Geist, he has to wait until McCorkadale gets on the gas. It's going to cost him at the start here. So Evan with a clear start, clear lead here ahead of Adam Dietz. He's going to try to slot in line to P2, but Matt Geist to the inside is going to take P2 back from Adam Dietz there. Up into third now, Evan McCorkadale starting to pull away, taps his helmet, says push me, let's work together, pull away, make it a 2, maybe 3 car battle, and that's it. No need to make it any more than that. So Matt Geist up to P2 where he started. Adam Dietz there in third, seeing what he could do, rocking the leather jacket and the jeans. One of the coolest looks you can have as a karting driver there, and Caleb, we've talked about it, right? I mean, that should be a requirement. That should be a requirement if you're a Masters guy. Leather jacket and jeans.
Yeah, but this isn't Masters. This is 206 Senior Heavy, right? You know, we're a lot of people mistake, you know, the heavy for Masters, and it's understandable. But you know, same weight, but still some younger guys. So we'll give some lenience here in this one, right? Maybe some guys want to wear a suit. Which is fine, you know, we'll let them do that. You know, they're probably, you know, racing out of a trailer, not a pickup truck, or whatever it may be, right? But for all these drivers, you know, off to a good start so far here in this one, and working their way through. As I mean, a good lead so far by McCorkadale so far in this one. Geist currently in the second spot, and Dietz currently P3 here at the moment, and closing down that gap to the second and first place drivers here at the moment, continuing to push himself forward. Troy Toney currently sits P4, and Riley Galladay currently P5. So, I mean, Alex, you said it yourself, right? For the other Masters drivers, you know, we're setting some new rules in place, and they'll definitely be effective immediately after this race weekend here at the Indy Karting Challenge. But we'll either be back because they liked us and they liked our rules, or we won't be back because they hated our rules and they thought we were silly. So it can go one or two ways, Alex, and they'll bring somebody else in here to announce instead of us. You know, Indy local out there as well. Caleb Smock, a good friend of ours. Love working with Smock. So you know, having a good time. But a good weekend of racing so far here as Geist and McCorkadale currently sit nose to tail, bumper to bumper here, and continue to push each other forward. I mean, I'd be surprised to see them fight this early on. You know, we're used to seeing, you know, these veteran drivers just push each other forward and be willing to work together, which is really the important thing, right? I mean, we saw Danny O'Gara and and company, right, push each other forward, and they were able to create that gap, create that cushion where they could be comfortable to fight towards the end of the race. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the exact same from some of these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, right? This is obviously being 206 heavy. Like, you could be, you know, as long as you're of the senior level age, whether you're 15 or more, you could run the heavy class. But the reason why I mentioned the whole Masters thing is because most of this class is actually drivers from double duty running Masters, right? We have Geist, Dietz, Tony, J.B. Williams. We have Barnes and a few others, I believe, in this class who are in the Masters class. So only a few here are running the single class in the heavy division. I think McCorkadale ran, I believe, medium this morning, so he's also running heavy this afternoon. But for some of the Masters guys like Geist, Dietz, and Tony, they're showing them how it's done here. Matt Geist with a chance to make it 2 for 2 in the Master and Heavy division, but he has 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps to make things happen. I mean, he had a battle with one of the Burrell Art drivers earlier today. Now he has a battle with another Burrell Art driver this afternoon, so he can't seem to escape the Red Army, but nonetheless, Matt Geist looking to be quick. So too is Evan McCorkadale, purple, 42.151. That's a rocket of a lap for McCorkadale there. These two working together very well here. You see McCorkadale give the signal to Geist. Keep pushing, keep working together. No need to pass me. We're pulling away. You see the three behind them are not working together. So if these two can do this for a couple more laps, they will inevitably be untouchable as the race comes to a close.
Yeah, for sure. So we have problems there for the 81 of Brennan Loring. So unfortunate there. End to Brennan's race. Can't get that go-kart fired up there on the racetrack. So that's going to mark it into his race. Unfortunately here, an early end to the weekend. 4 minutes early, I should say. And ending to the weekend there. But for the likes of Geist and McCorkadale still continue to push each other forward here. I mean, Alex, I feel like everybody always asks me when I'm getting back into the seat, but for a guy like yourself, right, I mean, when are you getting back into the seat, right? You were a CKNA champion in your own respect, methodical rise through the KA ranks. You were, one of the initial drivers who started that program, who was able to test out that program with the Praga team down at AMR, and then, you have a lot of experience in the 206 as well, right? I mean, when people think of Alex Searle and the MGM, people get scared.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd love to get back in a kart. I was supposed to actually go run Grands last year, but I didn't end up doing it. But I'm hoping to get back in a kart this year. But I will be racing up in Canada. Season starts in about 2 weeks, so racing some Formula 1600s over the Toyota Tires Championship with Brian Graham Racing. So excited to get the season started. Obviously, 2 weeks is a test day for us. It's a practice race, so it's a non-points event. So real season starts in about a month. And I'll be running the full season down over there. So I'm excited for that. First time in Canada here as we see Matt Geist make a lunge to the inside and through on McCorkadale. So Matt Geist, he's been planning that one methodically over the past 2.5 minutes. He's now to the points, the 5:31 machine, looking to go 2 for 2 today in feature races. Yeah, but Caleb, yeah, like I said, looking forward to first time in Canada. Haven't been in the seats for about a year, so it's been too long for me. Longest in my career that I've gone without a ride. So excited to get back in the seat there and race some cars.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's breaking news because it's the first time I guess you announced that. I mean, I feel like I knew you were racing, but I just wasn't sure when or how soon or with who, and then you just spilled the beans there. So I wonder how much we can get out of you by the end of the day here, Alex. But these drivers continue to cycle through. Evan McCorkadale and Matt Geist still working their way through. McCorkadale currently now sits P2. Geist, your new leader here after we saw that him get the move done earlier on in the lap.
Well, I gotta ask you, Caleb. You asked me, so I'm gonna ask you, right? When's the Triple Crown when we're gonna get back in the seat, huh?
So, I mean, for those of you around the paddock, I mean, some of y'all may be familiar. I'm very familiar with the entire MPG Crew, I know you. I mean, see you guys out at the racetrack almost every weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Actually, at Stars. So good to see Billy Vincent and the whole crew out there at Stars. Austin Fairfield, Rico Dobbins, the entire crew, Chase Jones, race. Everybody excited to see everybody back at the racetrack next week. But some people may not know that I actually do some part-time racing. I know Mr. Olds knows I race, and they've seen me race not so well at CK&A Grands, but I do race 206 heavies sometimes, and I got a win last week, but 2 weeks ago I think, and I mean, no, it was last week. Yeah, it was last weekend, but I don't know when I'm getting back in the seat. Honestly, I could go and race tomorrow if I wanted to at my local club race, but you know, school and homework all puts an end to the fun racing, right? So I don't know. Sometime soon, probably for a local club race or something, I'll probably get back in the seat. You know, as long as we're not kart chasing somewhere like we are this weekend.
That's good. That's good to know. Good to know. I mean, I know for sure. I know Matt Del Sol there is pressuring you to go out there and run Grands. So hopefully you can run Grands.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do double duty, the first ever double duty, as we see side-by-side action here with Porkadale and Matt Geister through turn 1 and 2. This is going to get hairy through 3. That's impressive stuff. The first time all weekend we see somebody hold the outside in turn 1. Matt Geist lives to fight another corner, but down the back straight here, 20 seconds and some change left in this one through the left-right chicane. Geist holds on over McCorkadale there, so really impressive here, but now the gloves are for sure off in this one for 206 senior heavy. They might just be given some leeway here. Let's see, is it 2 to go or 3 to go as they cross the stripe? I think it's going to be 2 laps to go. The clock just struck 0. So, 2 laps to go for Matt Geist and Evan McCorkadale, Caleb there. And yeah, like I was saying, maybe you can be the first guy to do double duty and work and race at the same time. Speaking of which, inside, McCorkadale through. Geist with a crossover move, gets it right back. So Matt Geist not gonna let this one go easily. I will say this much. I don't know if you saw the corner of our camera. The more these two fight, the 3 behind are coming.
Yeah.
That's Adam Dietz, that's Riley Galladay, that's Troy Toney. So if these two fight any harder, we could have a pretty crazy ending to this senior heavy race.
Yeah, and we're talking about me getting back into the seat. If a guy like Matt Geist is going to be pulling moves like that, not anytime soon. You know, but the white flag up in the air, Matt Geist, you know, it was with a really good move the last time by on McCorkadale, who looked to go through, just wasn't close enough, and a nice and beautiful over-under there by guys to stay in the lead as they encounter some traffic. But this is it, last time by, the last couple of corners, 3 corners to go left in this race. It's Geist who leads. McCorkadale currently sits second and closing down that gap. Is Geist going to go defensive? Doesn't have to. McCorkadale not close enough as of yet in his Braille Art machine, and I just had to say that on the inside, a little bit of a hip check in between the two of them. Side-by-side action, door to door. It's still Geist going to cross the line and win in 206 heavy. Evan McCorkadale P2, Adam Dietz at P3. P4 is Troy Toney, and JB Williams crosses the line P5 on what was an intense battle for that P3 spot. But man, what a race finish there. McCorkadale thought he could get there, wasn't close enough, and in the end it was Matt Geist who got the win here once again in the 206 senior heavy final.
Matt Geist made it happen when he needed to the most. What a great finish there. Here's the start of the race. We saw McCorkadale get out to an early lead in this one ahead of Matt Geist and Aaron Dietz. And for a moment, I thought McCorkadale was going to be able to win this one. For a majority of this race, he didn't look back from the lead. But Matt Geist kept his head down, stayed pressuring the Burrell Art driver, and when he could, he pounced. Here was what we saw for a majority of the race, was Geist behind McCorkadale, just seeing where he is quicker. There's one of the drivers pulling off early in his race as the leaders went by.
That was the 81.
That was the 81 machine there. Couldn't get it refired, unfortunately, so his race was done early on in this one. There was Matt Geist getting around McCorkadale. McCorkadale trying to get back around Geist. This is very clean, very close racing between your top two drivers. That's what you love to see at any level of karting. So for these two, the level of respect is at an all-time high. And at the end of the day, with two very clean drivers, two respected drivers in the heavy division, it was Matt Geist that came away with the victory. Here's a few more angles of the side-by-side action that we saw throughout the event. But on the last lap, we saw a late lunge by McCorkadale. Wasn't enough. A little bit of contact. It's all clean on the last lap. And it's Matt Geist who won the senior heavy feature race. Very exciting last couple of laps there, Caleb. All right, as the last few bits of pickup get complete here, that was your senior heavy final. When we come back, we have two feature races left, beginning with the K8 junior class. It's going to be Landon Boer on pole position. Do not go anywhere. You don't want to miss this.
Well, welcome back to the Indy Karting Challenge as we get to the closing stages of the day here. Myself, Caleb Vieska, and Alexander Suro joining me here in the booth, bringing you all the live coverage here for this event. And a quick shout out to the entire Whiteland Raceway Park staff, doing a great job keeping all of our drivers safe, doing a great job whenever the barriers collapsed onto the racetrack earlier today, and for our entire production crew as well, all the camera guys out here, and the entire production crew doing a good job bringing you replays, all different camera angles, and all of the action here to your home or wherever you may be watching. And it's truly been a pleasure to join you guys here for the third round of the Indy Karting Challenge on what's been a really interesting and really fun day of racing. We've been going at it for a couple of hours already, Alex. I mean, are you tired of watching so much racing, Alex?
No, dude. You never get tired of watching racing. And speaking of racing, I mean, you know, Caleb, tell them, how can we stay up to date of the schedule changes and all the results that we see here at Whiteland Raceway Park?
So there on the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a QR code with the Discord server, and you just put your phone to it, tap the link that pops up, and you join that Discord server and join the group here for the Indy Karting Challenge. Follow as well Race WRP on Instagram, and give them a like there on Facebook at Whiteland Raceway Park, and subscribe on YouTube if you're just like myself and Alexander Suro that can't get enough of racing. You'll have a great time doing all that, and stay up to date with all the starting grids and all that fun stuff. But we get set to go green here for our K8 100 junior class as they get set to go. It's Van Dyke and Landon Boer who get set to take us away here. Landon Boer starting on that inside pole position. Van Dyke starting on the outside there in the 79. The green flag is out. We are racing here. Van Dyke looked to get the jump. Wasn't close enough. Going to have to stay in P2 there. But a good jump so far by Landon Boer, the pole sitter, able to get ahead and stay ahead there and saw himself up in a P1.
Yeah, good start there for Boer. Van Dyke as well. Good job slotting into second place ahead of Ryan Mort there in third position. So for Landon Boer, this is the dream start that you would want with your teammate there in third. Hopefully, for his sake, Mort can get up to P2 and then those two can work together and walk away. But for Van Dyke, his goal is to get his head down and see what he can do and challenge Landon Boer for that top spot. Still 9 minutes and 2 laps to go. A long main event here in this one. There's a move to the inside by Ryan Mort. Couldn't make it stick. He might even lose a spot now after that mistake there from Mort. So Van Dyke still fights and holds on for P2. All that fighting, though, is going to give Landon Boer an even bigger advantage than he already had down the back straight into turn number 7 and 8. And there's Van Dyke. There's Ryan Mort. There's Golian as well in fourth. So a good battle for P2. For Landon Boer, though, still clean sailing out front. Last time around, the purple driver was actually the driver in fourth, Mason Gallion. He goes purple. So quickest driver on the racetrack is the driver in fourth. So for the sake of the viewers watching, we could be on for a decent race here if the driver in fourth is in fact the fastest driver on the racetrack. So now there's Ryan Mort, made a mistake out of turn number 4, under fire from Mason Gallion as well there. So the battle for third is heating up. The battle for first, not as much, but I will say this much: Dane Van Dyke last time around was seems to be matching the pace of what Boer did as they crossed the stripe. This time around, Boer only a 10th quicker than Van Dyke's lap time. So while Landon Boer leads by 1.2 seconds, it's not an overly insurmountable lead that he has. So 7.5 minutes, a little more than that, and some change. So plenty of racing action still left.
Yeah, a lot of racing action still left. And while we were talking about socials earlier today, I mean, the Discord group got to the goal that we set for it. We still set a goal for the Instagram of Race WRP of Whiteland Raceway Park of 1,025, if I'm not mistaken. And if we do get to that number later today, before the stream ends, it was the goal that we set it, Alex. I will personally let the MPG Motorsports team shave my head next weekend at the Stars Championship Series. But we have to get to 1,025. We're currently at 1,011. If we get to 1,025 by the end of the stream, I'll personally let the MPG Motorsports team shave my head, but we have to get to that goal before the end of the stream. Until then, I mean, best of luck to those of you guys in the paddock, and to the MPG team if you guys want to get more followers for the Whiteland Raceway Park. But as we continue to set our way through, Landon Boer still leads in Van Dyke not so far back. Yeah,
that's a big deal there, Caleb. I know you like your set of hair there. So yeah,
I do my hair every morning, man.
For those of you watching, 14 followers. We need 14 followers in the next 25 minutes, and that will happen. So for Caleb Viesca, if you want him to shave his head, we need 14. I know we can make it happen. It's already gone up like 5 or 10 since we mentioned it about an hour ago. So I know we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Let's get 14. Let's get 14 more. I know there's 14 of you listening in the paddock there that haven't done it yet. So if you want to make that happen, let's make it happen here. Race WRP on Instagram, 1,025 followers, and Caleb Viesca will be shaving his head on stream. We'll make it happen on stream too. Why not? Make it happen on stream. We'll do a special thing just for Caleb to shave his head by the end of the week.
We'll see. We'll see about that. But more and more drivers will continue to shuffle through. Maybe a live episode of Grid Talk next week at the Star Championship Series. We'll see what we do. But for now, a good move there. That was Ryan Mort able to get ahead there to go up to P3. So the MPG driver up to third now. Mason Gallion fell back to fourth. Graham Huffman currently P5. Charlie Myers P6. Lucian Lacer P7 here at the moment. And Evan Patton currently P8. The gap to the lead, Landon Boer still leads the gap at a 1.5 seconds back to Dane Van Dyke here at the moment. There you see those two drivers shuffle through. The closest battle is for the last of the podium places. They are in between Ryan Mort and Mason Gallion. So again, we've the Indy Karting Challenge has grown so much across social media, across Discord as well, getting more and more people connected. to each other as Gallion was able to get back to third. But yeah, it's a fun little incentive, right? I'll personally let the MPG team do that. But I just want to see people start to take initiative and follow their home track. So hopefully we can get that done here today. But it would be really bad if it did happen, because I really like my hair.
Well, let's see what happens. So far, it's still at 1,011, guys. So we need 14 more in the next roughly 20-25 minutes to make it happen. Nonetheless, Landon Boer, his lead has extended over Van Dyke, and then it's Mason Gallion ahead of Ryan Mort now. So this is the battle for the last step on the podium. A little further back is Graham Huffman there in 5th. So the battle for 3rd is starting to heat up here with just under 4 minutes and 2 laps remaining. So a lot of racing action left here. And after this class, Caleb, is the senior light class, one of the most exciting classes that we have all day long. It's basically a lot of the guys from senior medium doing double duty, plus a few of the KA senior drivers as well. So excited for that one here, but we still have to wait 3.5 minutes for that one. Nonetheless, here the case junior guys putting on a show. Van Dyke there went purples, 37.697. That's an absolute flyer from Dane Van Dyke, 6/10 clear of what Boer did last time by. How about it for Ryan Mort there? An over-under move on Gallion, side by side through the chicane. Can't make it stick. The more you battle for 3rd, the more the driver in 5th is going to be brought back into play. So here's Landon Boer. Further back, there's Van Dyke. Let's see what the gap is this time around across the stripe. It's going to be 2.5 seconds. So Van Dyke went from purple to being 4/10 off of Boer's lap time. So it goes to show you how tough this track is to drive and how hard it is to be consistent around this place. Nonetheless, Gallion now holding off Ryan Mort there. Goes a little wide in turn number 3. It's going to give Mort a good chance here on the exit of 4. They're side by side again. Can't make it happen though. Here's Landon Boer out front. 2.5 more minutes of driving for him before he can go out there and celebrate a victory here in round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge.
Yeah, so a couple of laps to go. 2 minutes left in this one as they go side by side there. That's Dane Van Dyke looking for the move there to try and get past some traffic. But that battle for P3 in between Mason Gallion still very much ramping up. Ryan Mort currently in the 4th spot there as well. So very good racing action so far here in this one, as these K100 juniors have delivered a great day of racing so far. I mean, Landon Boer has been phenomenal as well in his MPG machine to be able to stay out ahead. And for some of these drivers who will be traveling over to Charlotte next week, same thing for them. Just getting some warm up in, getting I guess everything shaken down before you go over there. But also for the grassroots level, right? A lot of these drivers, having a good time out here with families, parents, whoever it may be out here and enjoying some time and a Saturday out at the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. Always good to be at a racetrack. So no such thing as having a bad day at the racetrack. Even if you are having a bad day, you're not having a bad day because you're at the racetrack doing what you love. So a minute 15 left on the clock, plus 2 laps for Landon Boer. 3.2 seconds out front, ahead of Dane Van Dyke. Then it's Mason Gallion still fending off Ryan Mort. And then further back before these two battle, Graham Huffman has a chance. He can smell a podium position potentially in the cards for the 15 machine. So through turn 3 and 4, Mort throws up the inside and loops it. Locks up the brakes, and he's facing the wrong direction in turn number 3. So Ryan Mort tried to go for the late lunge, spins around, and that's going to unleash Graham Huffman with a chance to go after a podium. Ryan Mort beached it in the grass, had to pull his cart out. His race is essentially over. Wow. How about it for Landon Boer, by the way? Landon Boer, Mort's teammate, purple on lap 14. He had a lot left in the tank there. So 15 seconds plus 2 laps to go for Boer, Van Dyke, Gallion, and now Graham Huffman has a chance at a podium with Mort's spin.
Yeah, what a sequence of events there for Ryan Mort, unfortunately. Going for a spin and then having to, recoup, get himself back in the go-kart. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's really a points haul, right, for this long championship to become the Indy Karting Challenge champion at the end of the year. But 2-6 in the air this time by. Landon Boer gets the 2-6 first, then it's Dane Van Dyke in P2 and Mason Gallian as well in that P3 spot. But that's pretty much going to release Mason there for that P3 spot, as unfortunately for Ryan Mort, just a little bit 2 ways back now, finds himself in 6th. With a lot of work to do and going to be out of contention for the podium places. There's the 812. So unfortunately, locked up the brakes, spun around, and out of contention here in this one. But the 820 of Landon Boer has been absolutely perfect all race long. The white flag out in the air this time by. And the final time around for Landon Boer, who's had a great day of racing here today and is on for a clean sweep in the junior class.
Yeah, Landon Boer looking for another dominant performance for him. His lead is now 5 seconds over Dane Van Dyke as they go around the back straightaway through the left-right chicane into the bull corner for Landon Boer there. White flag in the air for one of the drivers further back, but for Landon Boer, he's going to see the checkered flag and win here in KA Junior. There's a look at some of the drivers in the midfield. There's Dane Van Dyke, there's Mason Gallian, who's going to cross the stripe in 3rd, and then it's going to be Graham Huffman, who just misses out on the last and final podium position there, but a great drive for him. Charlie Myers with a good top 5 there. Ryan Mort after the spin finishes in 6th. Then it's Lucian Lacer and Evan Patton rounding out your field in KA Junior. A chaotic end to a pretty tame KA Junior race. Here's a replay of that move inside and through. That was Ryan Mort there working with Dane Van Dyke, and then Van Dyke gets back around Ryan Mort. And then they worked together for a while before Mort decided to go back around Dane Van Dyke. Inside, couldn't make it work. Back straightaway, side by side. Couldn't make it work once again. And so I think the spin that we saw was just frustration compiling for Ryan Mort, and it ended in him facing the wrong direction, locked the brakes, and unfortunately his race was done from there. But for his teammate Landon Boer, a victory in KA100 Junior ahead of Dane Van Dyke, ahead of the likes of Mason Gallian. So a great KA Junior race, but after the KA Juniors, the senior light drivers have a lot to live up to after what we saw in the heat race. It's Ryan Gensheimer on pole position, Eli Fox on the front row. One more race to cap off round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. But before we do that, let's have one last word from our sponsors.
We're at a commercial break.
Welcome back to Whiteland Raceway Park as we get set to go green for the final race of the day and the final race of round number 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. As we get set to go green for the final time this weekend and for the final time today and for the final time in round number 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge with our 206 senior light here, Alex.
Ryan Gensheimer on pole position, Eli Fox on the front row with him. And then it's a whole posse of go-karts behind him who are going for the same goal as him. Green flag in the air. Gensheimer, a good start. He's getting pushed by the likes of Howerton there in second. They're 4 wide further back. They're the battle for 8th on back. We have one spinner further back in the field there, but for Gensheimer, it's the dream start. For Eli Fox, he somehow holds on to P2 there. Sideways is Wilbur there ahead of Howerton, your winner for the senior medium class earlier this morning. So it's all kicked off early on in this one, the final race of the day for round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge here at Whiteland Raceway Park, and this one shouldn't fail to disappoint with how close the racing has been all day long in the senior medium and senior light class.
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's been super close racing all day long in between every single class, pretty much. Where anything can really happen. There's some moves there in between one of the Coyote drivers and then one of the OTKs there was able to get through as well. But a good gap so far for Eli Fox, currently sits in that second spot. So drivers further behind, but still with the 919 who leads in the MGM, who's been really good. I mean, all day long, kept it out at the front and done a good job of it. So for Gensheimer, I mean, has been really good all day long, and at the moment doing a good job to keep Eli Fox and company at bay. For Jared Howerton here at the moment, sits in that third spot, or was in the third spot, and they go side by side in between himself and Braden Johnson there as they jockey for that third spot, and not going to help them out on their charge up the field here, Alex, because they're going to lose a little bit of time to Eli Fox in second.
Yeah, all this battling is going to play dividends for the driver of the 919 MGM chassis, Ryan Gensheimer. He leads ahead of Eli Fox, who's looking to close that gap. It was 9 tenths last time around. Now it's 1.2 seconds. So if I'm Howerton, if I'm Johnson, we need to figure out, all right, who's better at leading the group and who feels confident enough to push somebody, because right now we're letting Gensheimer get away here. 7.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go for Ryan Gensheimer, who's pulling away from the senior light class. We don't see this very often, but if the drivers behind him continue to battle, it'll make his life a whole lot easier. And I think drivers are starting to realize that, so they're putting their head down, they're working together. They know it takes 2 to tango in order to be quick in a go-kart, especially a 206 go-kart. So, rounding the final corner across the stripe here, it was 1.2, now it's 1.4, but Braden Johnson, with the help of Jared Howerton, he goes purple. Here comes Levi Wilbur as well further back. So this group of 3rd, 4th, and 5th are quicker than the 2 ahead of them. So if they continue to drive at this pace, they should be able to catch up to Ryan Gensheimer. They need 2 seconds to make it happen. But last time by, they were a couple of tenths faster. So at that pace, they will get there towards the end of this race. But for Ryan Gensheimer, he just needs to not put a foot wrong all race long, and he should be smooth sailing out front. But again, 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps. It's a lot of laps left in this one. Last time by, Fox matches to the thousandths almost the lap that Gensheimer did. So yeah, for the 2 behind him, Johnson and Howerton, again quicker than your leader last time by. So the gap is coming down. Wilbur to the inside. He's going to push Howerton all the way to the grass.
Oh, wow.
All through the curving and loops him. Levi Wilbur, there's elbows out, and then there's that right there. Basically drove him down to the grass and forced Howerton to drive through the grass there. And unfortunately, Jared Howerton's chance of a victory are out the window after that one. And Levi Wilbur now up into 4th.
Yeah, so Wilbur up into 4th, and for Howerton, I mean, a lot of work to do now. He falls way back. He's outside even the top 5 here at the moment. So let's take a look at that again, and it looks like Wilbur goes down the inside and just tries to keep Howerton out wide. Just, I think, a little too wide there as just crowded him out of room, and Howerton has no other choice than to go into the grass there. Yeah, not much of a choice there. You see from an angle back here, it looks like Wilbur just wanted to crowd Howerton there at the bottom of the racetrack into that 4th turn, and then they both just ran out of room, and then Howerton had to take evasive action and go into the grass. So that's going to put him P8 here at the moment. So going to be interesting to see. But Braden Johnson falling back as well. So issues for Braden Johnson as well. He's all the way outside of the top 10 here, even. So Levi Wilbur up into the top 3 here at the moment. And AJ Lund, the driver who almost got a race win earlier today, going to have another go at it here. He's already up in a P4 with a good drive up the field so far for him. But a lot of work to do if they want to catch up to Gernsheimer, as Eli Fox as well with a lot of work to do to get up there. It's at a second. He's going to need help from Levi Wilbur, but you know they got rid of all of their fellow drivers that could have helped them out get to the front, right? So I mean, all their fighting really just kind of left them alone there on the racetrack, and with a lot of work to do if they want to catch up to the 919 MGM of Ryan Gensheimer.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to put a wrench in things for the drivers in second, third, and fourth, because now for Fox, Wilbur is not quick enough as it stands to push him, and AJ Lund is too far back to make any headway in this one. So for Gensheimer, he just needs to not put a foot wrong for 3.5 minutes, and he will be victorious here in senior light. But again, anything can still happen. The gap, 1.4, now 1.5 seconds. And how about it? Levi Wilbur has caught up to the back of Eli Fox. So what he needs to do now is push Eli Fox up to the front here. And Levi Wilbur looks as though he's going to do that, unlike when he made the move there on Howerton and pushed him wide, looking like he's going to play this, I think, a little bit smarter than what he did for the battle for fourth. I think Wilbur's case, he just wanted to get up to third and then make the push, and so it's worked out for him. His strategy so far so good. I'll be curious to see what the officials have to say about that one. It looked as though maybe could have been a little bit cleaner, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's side-to-side racing, and unfortunately Howerton was putting the grass in that one. So I think it's no harm, no foul there. And so for Wilbur, pushing Fox up to the front last time by, matched the pace of the leader, and Wilbur went through there on Fox. So Levi Wilbur gave it one go at pushing, thought, you know what, I'm quicker than Eli Fox as it stands, I'm going to get around him, I'm going to try to do this on my own. So Levi Wilbur now up into P2. Let's see if he has the pace to make it happen.
Yeah, so Levi Wilbur not wanting to waste any time in that third spot, and goes up to second and ahead of Elijah Fox. So Wilbur already up in a P2. Pretty much just himself and Eli Fox inverting themselves. So let's see what they can do, and if they can close down that gap to Ryan Gensheimer in the lead of the race. I mean, it's a tall ask with the time continuing to dwindle down. 2 minutes left in this race plus 2 laps, but definitely doable here, Alex.
Yeah, this is a doable gap to close, but for Fox and Wilbur, they're going to have to work together if they want any chance at catching up to the leader of Ryan Gensheimer. Minute and a half plus 2 laps to go. 5 laps remaining here around Whiteland Raceway Park for round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge. Wind is still out and about here. 50-degree weather, a beautiful day in Whiteland, Indiana. Last time around, personal best for Fox. Wilbur is a little bit quicker than Gensheimer, but they're going to need more than 1/10 if they want to close that 1.8 second gap.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far here in this one. I mean, kept that gap behind. I mean, Alex, you have experience winning yourself. I mean, what's it like? What's going through a driver's mind whenever you have a gap like this in the closing stages of this race?
I mean, just don't put a foot wrong, right? The pressure gets high, your heart rate starts to skip a little bit quicker than what it was earlier. But you have to treat it like a qualifying session at this point, right? You cannot think about it as, I'm about to win this race. Think about it as, okay, I need this lap to pole, and just keep pushing that envelope. Every single lap is a qualifying lap in your head. So if you do that, it takes the pressure off of you to go out there and win the race, and you treat it as you need this lap. And so you just keep picturing, the perfect corner, the perfect apex, the perfect lap, and you start driving, better than you would have with the pressure on your shoulders. So for Gensheimer, I'm sure that's exactly what he's doing. I haven't seen him put a foot wrong all race long here, but the gap is closing. I will say, Wilbur and Fox last time by were 0.3 faster than your leader last time by. They were a little bit too fast here before the clock, so they're going to have 3 laps to go. Jeshimer, a personal best. Fox, a personal best here. Wilbur trying his everything to carry Fox with him, but Fox right now not quick enough to give Wilbur the push he needs to catch up to the lead pack. So as it stands, 2.5 laps to go. Jeshimer looks over his shoulder, sees the gap is large enough to where he can afford to maybe make 1 or 2 mistakes, but no more than that here through turn 7. I've seen him hit the same mark every single lap. Super smooth hand. The MGM chassis absolutely rolling as it stands. 2 sticks in the air. This time by, what's the gap? It was 1.6 as they crossed the line. 1.5. So you need 7/10 a lap if you're Levi Wilbur to go out there and make this a possible win for you.
Yeah, so for Levi Wilbur, I mean, just a little bit too far back here at the moment. And for Ryan Genschweimer, I mean, a good race and has had, hasn't put a foot wrong all day long. Has kept it clean, kept it up here at the front. Hasn't looked back since the start of the race, and is doing a great job at it, right? So, I mean, I'm sure Paul and April Rice will be happy to see that Ryan Genschweimer is doing a great job in that MGM chassis there, and has it tuned perfectly, because coming into the last lap has a gap of 1.5 seconds back to Levi Wilbur and Elijah Fox.
Yeah, and there goes Fox inside. He was planning that move for the last couple of laps. Late braking maneuver there on Levi Wilbur. It might just be enough. Eli Fox let Levi lead him, knowing that he was going to try to make that move later on in the race. Half a lap to go here for Ryan Genschweimer through turn 7 and 8 here, penultimate corner, and now the final corner. Ryan Genschweimer can celebrate a race victory here as he wins the final in senior light ahead of Eli Fox and Levi Wilbur. Levi Wilbur gets a purple lap on the last lap, leaves it all on the table when it matters most. So Jeshimer, Fox, Wilbur, that's your top 3. AJ Lund from the back of the grid in the heat to a top 4 finish. He will certainly take that one. Gavin Bayer, the top 5. Dylan Howerton, Jared Howerton, after being spun around early on in this one, finishes in 7th. Kyle Landon, he was your pole sitter in the heat race. He dropped back and did not finish this main event. Keegan Day in 8th, Braden Mayfield 9th, Dominic Stancombe, that's your top 10 in 206 Senior Light, the final main event of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a great weekend of racing. Myself, Caleb Yeska, and Alexander Searle would like to give a big thanks to the entire Indy crew for having us, and we've had a great time here at the Indy Karting Challenge. So the 2024 schedule, this wraps up round number 3. In a couple weeks' time, we get set to go green for round number 4, taking place on May 11th, and the rest of the year with more and more racing action throughout the year. But here we have a replay of the day and of the racing that we saw all day long. Was action-packed from the first green flag that dropped in the morning all the way here to the end of the day. It's been great racing the entire weekend long. So, Alex, I've definitely had a good time, and the racing has been incredible, right? I mean, you're seeing it here on the replays how interesting it was and how action-packed it was as well.
Yeah, for sure. The racing all throughout the day was great to watch here. Every single class put on a show. Here's some of our Supermaster guys here. We get other replays as well to show you guys throughout the rest of the afternoon classes. There's one of the Sportsman drivers in the morning losing the right rear tire and backing it into the wall. That was, I believe, Kaysen Hendrickson there on the 202 machine. There's AJ Lund, one of our senior pole sitters in the KA class this morning. Unfortunately, could not get the win for himself in Top Kart. Speaking of Top Kart, Danny O'Gara moving a lapped car out the way en route to a race victory in the 206 Sportsman class. Speaking of 206 Sportsman, here's 206 Cadets. There's Brett Hastings getting into the side of Reagan Hodges there, losing the side pod and ultimately losing the race victory because of that. Behind her was Chase Call. Here's a look at Jared Howerton there. He was your winner in the senior medium class, ahead of Evan McCorkle and others. There's Gensheimer and Howerton going at it back and forth throughout the entirety of the medium, senior medium main events. Eli Fox got in the mix as well. Howerton losing the rear end a little bit in the main event. It didn't matter though, because when it mattered most, he was able to take the victory here. You see what it means to him as he crossed the line, fist in the air, slapping the side pod. He was pumped after that race victory. He won in senior medium. And then further down the order, we had the 206 Masters drivers here. They were 3 rounds on the back straightaway. Unfortunately, for one of the Burrell drivers there, got spun around into the barrier and was facing the wrong direction. And then obviously the craziest part of the day was the KA Senior main event. 2 laps from the finish, we had one of the drivers slam the outside barrier of the bowl corner, move the wall. Kudos and shout out to our to some of the staff, officials, corner workers, anybody that was involved in moving that wall back up the racetrack so we could continue on our day. There's the green flag back in the air after we had the red flag for the KA Senior main event. You can see the wind that we saw throughout the day on those Indy Karting challenge flags there. Here's a look at some of our other classes, like the Supermasters guys. Later in the afternoon, here's a couple of drivers, unfortunately, not finishing due to mechanical errors. How about it for the Mini Swift drivers? Arguably the best races of the day was the Mini Heat and the Mini Final. O'Gara getting into it with some of his teammates. Wasn't happy, but overall it didn't matter, because when it mattered most, O'Gara was able to make it happen. Here's some of our other classes as well. Here's 206 Heavy, 206 Super Masters. Here's our Microswift winner, Reagan Hodges there. Didn't look back from the moment the green flag waved. She won by a staggering 14 plus seconds over the rest of our field. And here's some of our Mini Swift drivers. This was Dominic Gaddis there, climbing over top of one of our lapped karts, ultimately en route to victory, but that brought O'Gara back into the mix. One of the craziest portions of the day here. You don't see that very often with a leader, going Dukes of Hazzard style over the top of one of the lapped karts, but ultimately crossed the line, fists in the air. You see what it means to him. An MPG 1, 2, 3, 4 in Mini Swift. And then later on, we saw the 206 Heavy guys. A few drivers, unfortunately, didn't finish there. There's the 15 machine on the back of the truck there. And there's Ryan Mort locking up his rear axle with 2 laps to go and finishing outside your top 5 as a result, while his teammate Landon Boer ultimately won the KA Junior class. Then we saw in our senior light class, Levi Wilbur and Eli Fox going back and forth all race long. And ultimately, Eli Fox got the better of Levi Wilbur, while Ryan Gensheimer got the better of them both, and he won the senior light and final main event of the afternoon. This has been Round 3 of the Indy Karting Challenge at Whiteland Raceway Park. You see on your screen, you can follow us at socials, Whiteland Raceway Park on Facebook, RaceWRP on Instagram, Whiteland Raceway Park on YouTube. If you scan the QR code, you can join the Discord so you don't miss a single thing, whether it's schedule changes, results, or anything else of that matter. Visit racewrp.com for any of the information you may need scheduling or registration wise. Here's your schedule on the screen. Round 3 just got complete. The next round is round 4, May 11th, on Caleb's birthday. Speaking of birthdays, by the way, Caleb, speaking of birthdays, round 9 is actually my birthday, so that's pretty cool to see that we both have an event on our birthday. So shout out to the Indy Karting Challenge guys for putting this event on and putting on a great great series here for the Whiteland Raceway locals, and always good to give back to the grassroots community. I mean, everyone has to start, at the club regional level, and again, I hope this weekend proved that there is great racing that goes on even at the regional level, so at the club level. So for myself, Alexander Searle, for my partner in crime here, Caleb Vieska, thank you so much for watching, and please join us next week for the Stars Championship Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So thank you.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com? They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep.
gloves,
Yep.
rib protectors.
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing,
you, I had a really
we've
good
got
time.
everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
We're at a commercial break.